About time. We'll line.
Some of my friends that's had a
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Fiscal Court today. Nothing more I can say than welcome. If it's all right, Thomas, I'm going to ask you to open us up in a word of prayer.
Be glad to. Let us pray. Dear most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to come before you today and serve you in this capacity as elected officials and servants. I pray, Lord God, that you will bestow upon us the wisdom that we need to conduct ourselves in a manner that's glorifying to you, good for whom those we serve, and good for our community, and make us good stewards of what you have given us, Lord. We thank you for living as free people. We know that comes from you. We thank you for those who serve to protect those freedoms. We ask, Lord God, that you'll put a hedge of protection around them this day. I thank you for those people, Lord, and what they mean to us. Lord, I thank you for bestowing upon us government, and I know that you are in control of that, and we thank you for that. And as we are looking this year as a big presidential election year, we're always mindful of that, and we just pray, Lord God, that it's fair, honest, and that you would rise up the leader that you would have in mind to lead our country. Lord, we thank you again for your love, your watch care, and your provisions. Go before us now. We pray this in the beautiful and wonderful name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Call this meeting to order by saying our Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I don't know about you guys, but that sounded great. First thing on the agenda as we roll along is the approval of minutes.
Make a motion to approve as presented.
Second. I have a motion and a second. If no further discussion, roll call.
Davenport.
Yes.
Goodwin.
Yes.
Wilcox.
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Crawford. Yes. Bolden.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. All right, we have an amendment to the agenda. Amend the agenda to amend the agenda to add to acknowledge the extension taxing district tax rate for fiscal year 24-25 as item number 9, and add to approve the school resource officer contract with Logan County Schools as item number 10. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Davenport.
Yes.
Goodwin.
Yes.
Wilcox.
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes.
Bolden.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Next up is approval of our bill list.
The only thing I noticed, there were some bills from the food service over at jail from April. I don't know if that was something we didn't get paid for. There were some April bills and there was July bills, I guess.
Yeah, it was like 4 of them for April, and then it skipped and went to July.
Depends on when she gets them.
Oh, okay. I just make sure we still in good credit standing with them. I don't know, it seems like that happens lately.
We're not double paying, right?
No, we're not double paying. It pops up if you double pay an
It happens, trust me.
something bad.
Yeah, no doubt.
Trust me, it'll happen. You get so many, they're kind of the same, you know, they're pretty close to the same.
Our system will, if you pay a duplicate invoice number, it pops up and says this has already been paid. So
You get red flags.
we do.
Is there any other questions about the bill list?
No question, just an item to point out.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, it's huge compared to our normal, but we are paying the insurances for the year.
Correct.
And you had a $500,000 of occupational amended returns.
Yes.
Refund for Emerson.
Yeah, that was from the Emerson refund where they had overpaid. Kind of stinks we couldn't keep that, but that's the way it works, unfortunately.
What's the second line item with that, Emerson?
What page? Where are you talking?
So they
Line item, the
run,
refund.
it's just like Walmart would be another one, Emerson, there's probably a lot of others, I don't know, but they run multiple companies. So you got Emerson, you got Emerson Sub, you got, Walmart may have Walmart Incorporated, Walmart Sales Northeast, then they have the rental company, Walmart Rental, and so, it could be, we just think of Walmart. We just think of Walmart, but it could be, they could be filing 10 tax returns. I live with that, and it's just, sorry, it's just.
Yeah, that refund came in, that refund for Emerson came in as basically two different bills.
And on that, one thing I think we ought to do as a project to review, hasn't been done in many years, so that is capital gains tax, okay, that basically, which is exempt. Capital gains used to not be exempt. And so really kind of the first time that somebody honestly sold their farm and was paying their taxes, they paid the capital gains on it. And that was brought to our attention, and we kind of felt like that wasn't really the intent to capture capital gains on the sale of your farm. So the court, and I was on court, it wasn't on court when the tax was put on, but I commend the government who did, because we couldn't operate without it. But we took that off, and of course, then you fast forward 10 years, you don't think of, we really didn't mean to exempt the sale of a manufacturing facility. They should pay on their capital gains, but they follow the rules, that we owe this back because that's what our ordinance says. I think that's something we should look at moving forward,
How to differentiate.
Yeah. So, anyhow, I don't have an answer.
Well, that's a good explanation. I'm glad to hear
We
it.
need to get that ordinance, read it, study it, maybe we can come up with some suggestions, so when and if this does happen again,
Right.
it was never the court's intent, we just never thought about that,
Yeah.
honestly.
And I agree with that side of it, in taking it completely off agriculture. I do agree with that. The farmer, or even residential, I agree 100%. On something in the case as what happened with Emerson, I do agree that should have been.
Yeah, they paid, I remember that situation, that farm, and it was a corporation,
Right.
But it was a family, and they paid $32,000,
Right.
in capital gains tax. And, we're like, hey, we didn't really mean that was the intent. So anyhow, I just wanted to bring that up. You can see that $500,000 in capital gains tax is going back. And I'm not sure that was our intent when we did that.
Correct. Do I have a motion to approve the bills?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Next up is our treasurer's report. Come give us some decent news there, Amanda.
Okay. I do have the financial statement for you all this morning. They are working on getting it on your drive. But I'll go ahead and read that off. So the financial statement ending July 31st, 2024, the balance in the general fund was $278,858.01, road fund $638,468.04, jail fund $87,508.54,
LGEA 134,172.26, Federal Grants Fund 54.68, Solid Waste Recycling 471,845.78, Parks and Rec Fund 1,657,069.13, Occupational Tax 6,209,503.31, Life Skills 160,529.47, 911 Fund 220,496.26, Health Insurance Fund 1,382,687.40, County Clerk Storage Fees 91,431.81, ARPA 3,260,133.27, National Opioid Settlement Fund 313,906.42, Special Reserve 4,417,097.20, for a total of all funds 19,323,761.58.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve in a second. Is there any further discussion?
Yeah, I got a question. Under occupational net profit tax, under the deposit line item, there's a negative 264,706.
The deposit got made, so when we did the remote deposit, it put it in the wrong bank account. So we moved that money from the occupational tax to the general fund.
Okay, I was just trying to figure out how you have a negative deposit.
There you go. That's how it works.
I knew you had an answer.
We better not take any more of that. Okay, I was gonna say, I don't get that. Okay, go ahead.
So you'll see that deposit actually in your general fund at 254,343.
That's okay, that's okay.
Anybody else want to see it?
No, I was looking at you. Jason, did you want to say that?
Chris?
No, I've got it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? If not, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
The next thing that you have on your drive is a list of budget transfers that we need to have approved.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any further discussion?
95, 9,200, 999 is what line item?
That's special reserve.
So we're taking 300,000 out of special reserve?
Yes.
Yes, that's to pay for that occupational tax refund. There's not enough money in occupational tax refunds to actually make those payments. So we're gonna have to move money from somewhere. And Judge Baker picked special reserve because there's really no other place that has that much money in it.
And you don't think there's enough, Judge, freed up unspoken for at this time money in just the occupational?
No, at this time I don't. This time I'm kind of scared to take it from anywhere else this early in the budget year.
$6.2 million in there.
Well, it's actually, these are paper transfers. This is not gonna be a cash transfer. There's not enough money in any one line item in the occupational tax budget to move it from. It will be paid out of occupational tax. It's cash money out of occupational tax. We're not moving cash from special reserve. We're doing a line item budget transfer from special reserve to occupational tax.
All right, you're gonna give me 1 second to let that digest. Okay, so you're not moving it, so the $4.2 million balance that you just read off is not changing.
That's correct, because
All right,
it's
now
not a
explain.
cash transfer.
So you're taking it just out of a budgeted line item?
Yes.
Out of occupational?
Yes,
Until it's there.
yes.
I get it.
Just don't understand how it got to 42, I can't read that number now, let's see, 42, or 95, 9,200, 999.
So in your budget, we have money sitting in contingent appropriation as a line item in special reserve.
Okay, I'm with you, I'm sorry, you're right, I wouldn't follow that.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Trust me.
Man, 7th grade math, you gotta keep it on that 7th grade level, you all.
county government stuff is a
Trust me,
little
Amanda and I
different.
looked over Amanda more than I, but we looked over everything we could to figure out
Yeah, yeah.
how to make that work.
So we're actually not pulling it out of a cash transfer.
It's not cash money. This is, I call it paper trail.
Okay.
Correct.
Covering everything.
All right, do I have a motion to accept the bill list?
Yes.
I think I've
We
already
already
got
get-
the motion in the second, Judge. I just had a question.
We're good?
Sorry.
Okay, sorry.
Jump in the middle and get your,
With no other discussion, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
I'll text him.
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Okay, now the next list that I have for you, these are cash transfers. So this is money that's going from one bank account to another. We need to transfer $500,000 from the occupational net profits tax fund to the general fund.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
We need to transfer $250,000 from the occupational net profits tax fund to the jail fund.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
And we need to transfer $45,000 from the occupational net profits tax fund to the 911 fund.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
That's all I have for you this morning.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for explaining that.
You're
to
welcome.
me.
Appreciate
Appreciate it.
You ask questions.
I just, I don't get it right in my head. I don't know where we're
No,
at.
trust me.
Ne-
I'm always-
Next up, road work request, District 1.
Split it. Oh, I probably moved it.
Yeah.
District 1, Pee Wee, H.C. Johnson Road, I got a call that there's some erosion causing the ditch to be about 3 or 4 foot deep. We could throw some rock in there and help prevent that and fill it up all the way up to, I'd say all the way up around where you're gonna just, weed kill it or something. But other than that, I think hopefully still on schedule for Palmetto tomorrow. And appreciate the work over on Kim's Court that y'all did for that fella. And other than that, continue maintenance. Appreciate it.
District 2.
Mariah Church Road, need an outlet or no outlet or a dead end sign placed on that stop sign. Something happened to the old one. Also, on Burn Plains Road, right across from Howell Angel Road, there's a bad drop off on the west side across from Howell Angel. Please fill that in. It's a bad drop off. And, on Mortimer, I've sent you an email about between the addresses of, that's some bad, where the asphalt was moved when it was poured, they scuffed it or something and just made big old holes on that hill. So if you can get that, that'd be great, and I appreciate everything.
District 3.
Discontinued maintenance, I don't have any specific request for this court meeting, but I did want to get an update from you at some point about some of the tile work that we talked about, like Buena Vista, Joe Montgomery. I know you've had a lot to do, and just sort of want to get an idea of when you're sort of targeting tackling those issues, just to have it in my own mind.
Jay Montgomery will do it as soon as we get Tyler out, I'll go and start on that. Jay Montgomery.
And I know this, I don't know if this falls on road work request, but are we still spraying mosquitoes?
Yes.
Okay.
The he's getting pretty low, but yeah, he's still
Right.
about another week of spraying what he's got left in the tank.
Okay. I think I shared with you a complaint that I'd gotten for an area that people were getting ate up, so I just wanted to pass that along. Thank you.
Mr. Ford?
Did our speed limit signs come in?
Yeah, I got some of yours put up.
Okay. All right. On Duncan Ridge Road, there's a few signs that have vines and trees kind of grew up in them. Is that something we can spray?
Yeah.
Okay.
They've been working on some of that. I don't think that them.
Well, I can get with you and tell you where these specific signs are, but they're gonna actually, man's gonna have to get out of the truck and probably do some.
We got a couple of trees growing around one of them, I think.
Yeah. So, but other than that, thank you for the tile work and stuff and all the mowing and just continue maintenance.
District 5.
I know you've been up in my district. We have 2 road signs. I'm leaving you a note here. Old Greenville spelled O-L-D-E and Grenville, where it meets Bucksville. I turned that into Kelly and I think it got lost, so I'm gonna turn it in again. Well, you know what, his answer was pretty good to me. He says, well, it doesn't get stolen, does it? Amen, but, it's still misspelled and people still call it. And also on 3 Poplars and Turner, the Poplars is missing a P. The Polars. And so, again, people know where they're going, ambulances are gonna find it. It's not a big deal, but if you have road sign requests go in,
Yeah, we'll get it straightened out.
thank you. And, on 3 Poplars, they're real worried. And I think I did turn this in, where the road goes way down, hits that little bridge, and then goes up the hill next to that silo. You know what I'm talking about? The cold mix is needed there, or something, because the bridge is separated from the road. So y'all got that on your agenda?
It's already on there, everything you mentioned, it's on there, we just gotta get when they come in, guys that went on the board, when they just send some of them out, and then we'll work on a lot of this stuff.
I keep telling them, you won't believe what all he's trying to do, but you're not a last priority, you know, they just need to hear they're not a last priority. And they're worried about, apparently, a long time ago, the bridge came completely loose from the road. You might have been, I'm not meaning to assume your age or PD, but you might have been aware of that when the bridge came loose from the road. I guess it's been 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah, the flood, it took the end out of it.
Yeah, and so they're afraid that's gonna happen again. And I said, well, at the time, I said, you didn't have the cold mix, you didn't have something besides gravel, and I said, gravel's not gonna do it. Is that right?
No.
I don't wanna tell them wrong. You know your job much, much better than I could even assume to. Okay, the bottom line is those are the things, and on Cemetery Road where it hits, good grief, all of a sudden gone. Anyway, it's where the end of my paving is, and it turns left, goes over to Duncan Chapel. That's,
And who?
yes, that continues to wash out. Did you put some limits in there?
Put some bigger rock in there, but we'll lose, I'll fix it.
Yeah, I told him I think you're gonna need something more than rock because it keeps washing. And again, I'm not trying to hammer you because I know how you did. That's it.
Thank you. District 6.
Hey, we continue maintenance. Thank you for all the mowing. Everything looks great. Appreciate
The
it.
mowing. Yes, thank you.
They are trying to get, but as much rain as we had, stuff is growing so fast, we just can't keep up with it. You know, 3 mowers and 2 mow trims going, it's just hard to do. I commend them for staying on top of it as much as they are. I mean, evidence is I had to mow my yard 3 times last week, so that's terrible.
I want to say thank you to Mark Hopkins for spraying for the flies on the river.
Flies, correct.
That's been great. I appreciate that. I
Good.
forgot that.
With that being said, I need a motion to accept road work request.
Just
Yep.
quickly, Pee Wee text the other day, you asked about picking Flex Road, start to pick those out. Do we know our amounts yet?
Did we get that yet?
I just, county, everybody be aware that when they start figuring them out when we get ready, it's gonna be able to start. We're gonna get some more behind like we did last year, and we had to post it.
Exactly. What I'll email the amounts out.
So, 50
I'll-
something.
I'll email the amounts out. I don't have it off the top of my head. I believe we do have them. I know we do have them. I just don't have them. And I think we just separated them the other day, so I'll email those out to you. Okay? Thank you. Do I have a motion to accept road work request?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. If no further discussion, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Let's move on to elected officials. First up is Sheriff Stratton.
Good morning, Court. Need to get the fee report acknowledged.
I'll move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. No further discussion, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
All right, I have a personnel action request. First one is for Chad Eggleston as a new hire as a deputy sheriff at the salary scale, 15 years credit service effective July 29 of 24.
You've already hired him.
Yes, as a deputy sheriff.
So are you up to quota?
I like one or two more left. That's all I like left.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I feel the same thing. She tells me she's got her
Yeah.
slots filled.
It's been
You don't
a really
know
good
where-
month. Like I said, we got I had two certifieds. They're working the road, and then I actually have two non-certifieds, and one of the non-certifieds class got moved up to October instead of December, so he actually gets to go a lot quicker than originally planned. So we're hoping the other one does too. But
Where do they go? Richmond?
yes,
At Eastern? Yeah. Well, I'm really glad.
yeah, it's we've been super blessed. So.
That's it?
Where did you say he came from?
He retired. He came from RPD, and he was also he was also a firefighter EMT for Hopkinsville Fire Department as
Oh,
well.
that's right. I was trying to remember that. Jason.
Oh yeah, he did work at Russellville Fire Department a short time too.
Well, that's really a good experience level.
Yes.
It is.
And this is a road deputy?
Yes.
Let's see, yep, SO1. Make a motion for a personal action request for Chad Eggleston. Hire date, effective date, July 29th, 24, 15 years credit experience, and base schedule LC-SO-1.
I have a motion and a second. No further discussion?
Wait a minute, I got a question. So when this was brought last week, or last court meeting, this employee, if I remember correctly, was listed as an SRO.
Correct.
He's not going to be an SRO, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, meaning he's not going to be an SRO?
He is going to be assigned to be an SRO, but I have a part two. So part two is basically I hired him as a deputy sheriff and was assigning him to a school. Since we have an opening now in the SRO positioning, therefore I have a position to transfer him into as an SRO, which would be the second personnel action request. So basically he started out from July 29th till August 5th as a deputy sheriff, paid out of deputy sheriff line item. So my second request will be transferring his pay scale from that one to the SRO pay scale now that I have a open position.
And it's because you have an open position?
Yes.
Not we're adding that
Correct.
position?
Correct.
I'm cool with that. You need this?
Well, I was looking at it, but, you can tell me the.
I don't know these numbers. I have to rely on Tyler.
Oh, Tyler is the one that walks, I
I
wanna
just
learn how to do
remembered when
that.
we were doing this last court
Yeah.
meeting, we were bringing him in as
Yes.
a SRO.
Correct.
And we didn't have a position for an SRO.
I've already made the motion, I guess somebody might.
All right, I'll second Tyler's gracious motion. Did you already second?
Jason
All right,
already.
let's
Jason
do
already
your thunder
seconded.
again there, buddy.
Is there any further discussion?
No, we're good.
If not, roll call.
I got signed
Davenport,
it.
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
And again, on the second personnel action request, is just show that he started out in the deputy sheriff line item. And now that with the opening, he'll go to the SRO budget line item.
Which school?
He's at the high school right now. We'll have 2 at the high school, 1 at CTC, and we're working on making some schedule arrangements because of the opening that was created.
So where did the opening happen at?
Adderville.
That's what I was thinking, but.
Yeah, we're still trying to move the pieces together.
Make a motion to approve the personal action request for Chad R. Eggleston, effective date August 5th, 2024. Hold on a minute. That's the right one. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. He'll be moving from salary schedule LC-SO-1 to LC-RO-1 with 15 years credit experience.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is any further discussion, sir?
Yeah, I got a question. So if you're putting this deputy at a second position at the Logan County High School, you don't have enough positions available to cover the vacancy you have.
I have 7 SROs. Chad is currently at this high school. That's where he originally started, and we're moving pieces around to fill that void at Adderville. We just haven't got to that.
It's still gonna be 7. That was
Yes,
my
correct.
question.
Yeah, there's
As long
no-
as it's 7,
yeah,
I'm
there's
fine,
no-
'cause that's what our contract is with the school system.
Yes.
It's 7.
Yes.
So
No,
I'm good. I don't care if you put all.
it's
7 in
monopoly,
the
but
school.
it's
I
still
can
7
care
positions.
That's not.
So will all the schools ultimately have a full-time person, or are you gonna?
Yes, eventually, yes. Yes, yeah. Like I said, he'd already started out at the school before this had came available, so we're kind of reevaluating
Consider
the
that
whole.
a training time.
Yeah.
before we open it.
Well, we're just trying to reevaluate, every option that we can to best utilize the 7 people that we have.
Ultimately, the high school will have one, I guess.
Well, they have 1 and 1 at CTC. I don't count the one at CTC as a high school SRO because they're separate buildings, but he is within the range. So, I mean, they interact. So, it kind of, I think, gets confusing when we say, SRO here at the school and CTC. It's 2 different buildings. So right now there's actually 2 inside the high school.
But you're planning on doing like a rotation of order?
Yeah, we are. I mean, we've been doing that for several days. One of the SROs had something come up that's been off a few days, so we were jumboing the schedule anyway. Now that he's gotten back, we're going to actually sit down and reevaluate a couple
As long as
different.
there's an SRO at the school during school day, all day, that's what I hope.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think
That is
that's how we're
the.
trying to fulfill the contract. We have a contract between Fiscal Court, Logan County Board of Education. Logan County Board of Education, their House bill, whatever.
Right.
I forgot the number or something.
Right.
Requires them to have an SRO at every campus, and we are in contract. We are assisting them in that by
Yes.
the contract.
Yeah.
So,
None of that's ever changed.
yeah, it's never changed, so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you. We voted.
Yeah, you hadn't voted, but you have a motion and a second. Yeah, we're just in the discussion.
Is there any further discussion on this? If not, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
That's all I had. Thank you.
Sorry. Next up, clerk, Stacy
Yes.
Walker.
Start writing on the back.
I've got another one, and I can do that, I don't know. Right over. Just like.
Hey, I have a fee report I need y'all to acknowledge.
Make a motion to acknowledge the clerk's fee report.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call?
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Okay, and then the only other thing I really wanted to just mention was that we did get approved for another grant from KDLA for $40,000 to preserve some very special historical books that are in archives, and I'll let Denise tell y'all more about that when she comes up.
I read that, that's so cool.
Thank you guys. You guys.
Congratulations.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Stacy. Thank you for your hard work. Next up, Jailer Toomey.
Good morning.
Good morning.
As of this morning, our count was 166 total. It was 108 on the county side, 53 state, 31 on our working side state, 4 out of county and 1 out of state. Those are awaiting pickup. And I just want to give an update. The Work Ready Boot Camp went really well. The end of July, and our job fair was very successful. It was short notice notifying businesses of the job fair. Now that I know that we're going to do that each time, I've got plenty of time to notify more businesses to get even more participation. But that was the 26th, but it went very well. The gentleman that participated, everybody that started, completed the program, and everybody got at least 2 to 3 job offers when they get out. So it went very well, and our next event will be the week of the October 14th through the 18th with the job fair on that Friday the 18th at noon. There'll be lunch provided, and then move into the job fair, a rotation at each HR department that's represented from each business. I'm hoping to have a full house this time. I got about half of who I contacted, but with just a few days notice, they already had, most of them had prior obligations, but with a couple of months notice now, hope for more participation. But like I said, the next event will be October. And as far as the next item up, I believe Miss Olivia added, we've had some, I'm asking that we advertise for open bids for our food service vendor. I've been having meetings with the current company that does it. I was hoping that issues would get resolved. However, it's gotten worse, not better. It's to the point to where the staff wasn't even showing up over the weekend. Deputies had to observe inmates. I mean, it's not a good situation, but I think we can look for some more options out there, but open up to advertise for bids for food service moving forward.
Where's our current contract stand, Joe?
He spoke with me about it, and I think that they understand there are problems, and they are amicable in terms of allowing us to break that. I'm going to suggest that we figure out which fiscal court meeting we could get it advertised for, and go ahead and bid it out today, and then I will write the official letter for Deputy Toomey, giving him enough time to have that handoff. It sounds like they recognize that maybe they just have some staffing issues. We do have a 30-day out clause, though it doesn't sound like that will be necessary on their side, but it will probably be necessary for us just to make sure he has food. So.
Yes. And the president of the company said that they will be there and still maintain until the changeover. However, We've had a couple of district managers, and we've had at least three to five local managers, site managers, and plus other staff, to where they're coming aboard but not staying. I don't know what's changed, but it's just the inconsistency, and just it's tough. And then the deputies are just supervising the inmates that aren't trained for it, but the inmates that work the kitchen do an outstanding job. They know exactly what to do. They've done it for long enough. They're trained well, but again, moving forward, a different company.
Well, food's kind of important.
Absolutely.
You know, that's a,
They've got, the gentlemen, the men and women got to eat. They got to have their calorie count. They work hard, especially our outside workers, but they've got to have a dependable, kitchen staff there to observe, supervise, make sure everything's being done according to the standards, and just getting a new company would be good moving forward. So,
can I ask something? You tell about the job fairs and the jobs offered and the inmates that are
Yes.
looking like they're going to take these jobs. Is there any kind of follow-up on that where you can see the ones that stayed with jobs or stayed,
Well,
in a better standing for themselves and their families?
well, I was working on reentry and adult education, workforce development. I've been talking with them. I was looking at having the supervisor from Frankfurt come down and actually give a short presentation on that in the future. But the stats that they're looking at right now is you're cutting recidivism with those programs and the people that complete it in half.
Oh, really?
So,
Really
yeah,
half?
it's some good numbers.
That is good.
It's some good numbers. In some areas, you're talking 70 to 80% success rate, so even higher. So it's
basically a help step
Yes.
up and out.
If we just house them and we don't offer an education or a work study program, they're going to go back right into what they know, the only thing they know, because they're comfortable with it if they have nothing else to fall back on. So while they're here, why not give them more education and work training to where they can be successful, and then many of them are from other places that want to relocate because, like I said, they've all got 2 to 3 job offers each here in this community. There was 35 businesses in a 5-day span. I personally went and talked to their HR. People want reentry. They have hard enough time hiring anyway to getting the interest. These men and women want to work, and they're more than willing to give them that opportunity.
Well, good for you and good for our county. Good, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And
Go ahead.
As far as the request that we need a vote
The food
on.
service, we need a motion to be able to put out for bid, the new request for bid for the food service, but we're gonna have to get all that paperwork together, and there's some new questions that have come to mind, and you and I'll talk about them later.
Yes, sir.
Second.
Where'd I get my, Tyler? Second. Okay, I have a motion and a second. Do I have any further discussion? If not, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin. Yes. Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Anything else?
One other request is looking at our current, if you want to call it a contract, it was up some time ago when it was put in place, but for our jail management system is our computer system as we book in the inmates and keep tabs on the individuals as they're there and release. The key complaint that I'm getting from the staff now and new hires is the timetable and the learning curve. It's taken a new person roughly an hour and a half, give or take, to book somebody in because of the long process. Everything's redundant system to where newer updated systems are all electronic. There's no, let's do it on the computer, let's print it out, fill it out, back it up and scan it and put it back in. As I'm talking to new jail management system companies, I don't know what the threshold is on that. Like I said, they're roughly between $12,000 a year and maybe 15 at most. But But I was looking to advertise for a new jail management system as well.
Where we on the contract on that?
I think it ended a few years back. It was signed several years ago.
What's the name of the system?
It's Jail Tracker. And certain features that used to be available, now they're wanting to charge you more money for those same features to go back and look into things and study. Like say you're putting in tattoos or certain features about somebody, and you need to identify that person later. Certain things aren't as trackable or searchable as they used to be. That's just one of many. Where some other companies that I've talked to, their features, whatever you want, the system is customizable. It doesn't cost you more. The price is what the price is for the storage and to maintain, and it doesn't change. If you need something changed or added, they will do it. It's not an additional cost. And it's just the dashboard, it's more user-friendly, the learning curve. One of the new systems that I tried, I'd never used it before, and I was able to book somebody in 20 minutes. The timetable and the time that saves and the learning curve is as busy as they stay. The staff stays, especially during the day, court times, and this is getting people in and out. That saves time.
Are you paying for that out of commissary now?
No.
You know, we can pay that out of commissary, right?
Yes. And I'd be willing to do that if I just wanted to run that by the court's attention.
Use commissary funds for it.
So
Jail Tracker, Durango.
We still have to bid it, but, you know.
Yes.
Do we have to bid?
We have to get quotes. If it's under 30, is it 40 now?
And
40,000.
the most expensive one that I've talked to is 15. The one I was looking at leaning more toward was 13. The current is 12 and some change a year.
So we're talking about $1,000 difference.
Yes, if that.
Solicit quotes.
But with less features on what we currently have versus
And
new
how long would
system.
it, you said it takes an hour and a half to book now, what would it?
Roughly, for somebody brand new, you take a veteran, it still takes roughly 45 minutes. But that's cutting that time in half to get people booked in and out.
When you say veteran, you mean veteran of the jail system.
What's that, sir? Yes, with the system, with the system.
A veteran of the jail system.
Yes, I'm sorry, misspoke, but yes.
I was thinking, wow,
Yes.
it takes veterans along.
No, I'm
That's
sorry.
funny.
Well, somebody that's used the system more is all, but that's,
Can we get 3 quotes?
absolutely.
Well, I was gonna say, you thought you'd struggle getting.
No, I can get 3 quotes, so.
I think
But
it's a
I've
good
tried
idea.
different systems, I've reached out looking at some options, but I would like to advertise that
And
with
I
the
think
court's
you take that out of
permission moving forward.
commissary, I mean, get you 3 quotes, bring it to the court. And,
I'll have them for next
won't
meeting, sir.
Require a budget change for us. and
No, sir, will not.
Pay for
So,
it out of that.
yes, sir.
Sounds
Right, sounds
reasonable to me.
Thank you. That's all I have.
All right.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, sir.
Appreciate it.
All right, the coroner is in training and PBA's not here, so let's move on to,
The only thing about maybe the coroner that I'll bring up, I did meet with him down there, and, I mean, it's coming together, it's looking really nice. I mean, obviously, there's some things that still need to be done.
right,
I would like for us in the near future solicit and get rid of the carpet for what that facility does. Carpet is just not a healthy option,
Agreed.
let's say.
Agreed.
So, you know, I would assume that's relatively inexpensive, and maybe Josh has some.
I was gonna say that I talked with the coroner, and we actually redid some of our flooring and you know, our guys are very talented. We pulled up carpet, indoor, outdoor, and some other flooring that was in bad shape. We used the laminate, looked like hardwood with the laminate, and they did outstanding. We were willing to help out.
I appreciate that. That'd be awesome. And
That
so
would
we're
be-
talking about material for carpet, and then, it needs a door added in the back so you can
yes.
push the gurney through. Right now, the door.
Yeah, it's a little tight.
It is tight, and then you got that crazy angle. You gotta go this way, and then turn this way, and go
Right.
this way, and then turn that way. It needs
Yeah,
a
the building was cut up just a little strange.
45-inch, 46-inch door, whatever, that you could go straight to the code. So.
I think that sounds better.
I would think that those would be really, especially if we have labor help,
Would I-
would be inexpensive.
I'll reach out to some people and see if we can't get a door put back there, and maybe you and I'll talk. and try to look at it. and
Get some
figure it out.
flooring quotes. and-
Right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Sorry, I just
Nope, no problem.
would like to bring that up, and get that.
Good, good, good.
All right, let's
Bill,
move,
you'd be
let's
proud.
move on to department heads. I noticed emergency management is here for the first time in years, so we're gonna let them come up first.
I've seen it.
Aye.
I see him all the time, he's just here first. And I believe he's got some visitors with him.
Good morning. Good morning.
I was just gonna give you an update for the past couple of months. They've been real busy, and I know it's been an educational curve for the judge and myself, but the last declaration that happened on Memorial Day weekend, the county did get approved for IA, which is individual assistance, and PA, public assistance. If y'all wasn't aware, we have a FEMA trailer set up at the extension office, thanks to Miss Leanne for letting us use that. So they're out there now. Where is she? Right there she is.
Yes, ma'am.
They're out there now where individuals can go and trying to get assistance from FEMA. And PA is coming up. I know we got a meeting. We had an exploratory call yesterday with FEMA. So that's going to be underway. And also here today we got two representatives, Mr. Russell Anderson and Miss Beyond Smith. Would y'all like to make it? Do y'all have any other questions for me in emergency management? So.
Thank you, Ron.
I will say something.
Well, I can fill you up on FEMA and emergency management, but we don't have all days.
Between Rodney and Terry, they keep me very informed of everything that's going on. Sometimes they tell me more than I want to know, especially Terry, but that's all right. But I appreciate both of them and the hard work that they do. Sir?
All right. Thank you, Ronnie.
Show's yours.
All right. My name is Russell Anderson. I'm with FEMA here in Kentucky, and I'm just going to kind of go over a couple of brief things that I think are important for folks to know about, what's going on out there with us and what's happening. Basically, I'm just going to cover a few things like I'm just here to share how to make sure that the survivors get the help they need for the disaster. It's kind of seems like everybody thinks they know how it works, but it's not exactly how it is, and sometimes it's kind of good to clarify it. We're really here to help those that are underinsured and uninsured. Underinsured may say, like maybe you have a house that's worth, say, like $300,000, but your insurance coverage was only up to like $200,000. So you're underinsured, and you can call us and ask if you can get help, and we'll do our best to see what we can. I like your chances, but you always got to apply. That's how we really figure out how it works. And uninsured is just that if you don't have any coverage, hopefully you can reach out to us and we'll help you out with that. There's 3 ways to apply. That's online at FEMA.gov, in person at a disaster response center, and we have one open here in Russellville at 255 John Paul Road from August 12th yesterday to August 17th, and they're open from 10 a to 7 p.m. Some people just don't like computers, so they like to go and talk to people in person, and we're there to answer any questions you have. But the application with us starts the conversation on how things work. We can't really do anything to help anyone until we get you to talk and bring in your, you got to show that you own the house or live in there. You have to bring your insurance papers, your identification, and things like that, so we can, make sure who you are. The third way is by phone. 1-800-621-FEMA, and that's 800-621-3362. Just call in. That's, to me, is the easiest way. You just talk to somebody right on the phone. And
Can you give that again?
sure.
Phone number.
800-621-3362. It's FEMA spelled out. But that kind of it just kind of opens the door to get things started, and we can tell you, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not always exactly what you think it's going to be. It might be something better. And you want to tell them your whole story about what happened if you had trees fall on your car. That was your only way of transportation. Well, we can look into helping you with that, or if something happened to, where you were working at. You might be unemployed now because the building you were working at smashed. Can't go to work, so you're unemployed. You can ask for FEMA for help with that too. So there's a lot of different things we want people to be open when they speak to our reps to tell them what their situation is and see if we can help them in any way.
And I do not know everything. You can ask me questions about stuff, but please, if you want to leave your contact number for me, I send things in probably every other day to the judge executive, Mr. Baker up there, and I try not to overload him with all the counties that we get, but
Lots of emails.
yeah, lots of emails. So I try to keep them relevant to what's going on around here, but yeah, my contact information, and I'll reach out if I can't get the answer for you immediately. But yeah, we want to just make sure to have people apply if they have any questions for your constituents or anything like that, and you can reach out to me anytime, and I will get back to you as soon as I can about it and answer any questions you might have. But the main thing is just the 3 ways to apply.
And what's your name again?
Russell Anderson. FEMA.gov, that's number 1. Number 2, go to a DRC, Disaster Response Center, or by phone, 800-621-3362.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's a situational question, and I'm just trying to figure out, this is a past event, declared a disaster. I forget the term that Rodney used, but it was declared. Y'all were here for a long time. It was a big event. It was probably about a year or 2 and a half, or maybe 2 years.
We have a lot of people on our staff that were at that one that came back.
And I know a situation where a homeowner was actually building himself, a home. Tornado wiped it out. He just did not think about builder's risk insurance.
Oh.
Just, you were saying, that's what made me think about you.
Yeah.
You said
underinsured
or uninsured.
Yeah.
He was uninsured, and he was turned down. He went and filled out his thing, and they turned him down. I thought that was odd, but again, situational. I know you can't answer to that, but
I can answer a little bit of it.
Okay.
I don't know the exact parameters of how it happened or the details, but we have to, being the federal government, we have strict rules we follow by the Stafford Act. That's what helps FEMA. They're controlled by us. We get audited. We can't insure every single situation, but we still want people to apply because there might be a way. We will do our best to try to make sure that they get covered. But there's some situations where we just can't. I mean, it's just like we have rules we have to live in, and if we, it might have been one of those cases, but that's an odd situation because it's not really existing building, and you're like, I don't need to insure it yet.
Yeah, he just was not. I mean, he just didn't.
Sure.
A costly mistake. This guy had saved his money for a long time. He was no mortgage involved. It was a very unique situation. Young man worked.
It's unique.
It's heartbreaking, and he just worked and saved and done without. And I know the guy, and again, just didn't know. Started building his house, paid cash all the way through, and they were hanging cabinets, so they were literally about a week or two.
Oh, they were that close.
Moving in. And that December tornado.
Yeah.
It's December, 21.
21.
Yeah.
Went through, wiped it out. And so anyhow, somebody told him, that's when y'all were set up here, and I think y'all were at Extension Office then. And so he did go and apply, but he got turned down.
Yeah, it's very difficult to hear things like that because we want to help everybody that we can.
Yeah.
And I mean, really, that's a real unusual situation. I don't think I've ever dealt with that before. But
he was like, man, I didn't know nothing about builder's risk insurance. I just thought I insured it after I got it built.
All right, listening to Thomas, what is your limitation on time? For example, that was 2 years ago. So something 2 years ago could not be relooked at?
Well, we do have there's an open, and we have to try to close a disaster out when everything gets finished. But you can still call back in and just tell them to reference that disaster.
I would.
And just check it. I mean,
Can he ask for you?
Yeah, I don't have it. I wish I could do that, but I don't think it'd be.
Okay.
But
well, I think this sounds like a case of a person that actually needed it.
Yeah.
And I know that in FEMA's illustrious career, you've had a lot of people get FEMA money that didn't. I mean, we both know that.
Yeah.
And so knowing that, you have some young man who has saved his money and tried his best to get what he thought was the best thing for his life and his family, I guess.
Well, he's not sore about it,
No, not sore. I'm just saying that is where, to me,
like, hey, I applied. and-
As a common person, speaking from
The heart.
dirt of the, you know, under the fingernails, people
Yeah.
who are working hard, that's who needs it.
Yeah,
I would ask him to relook at it.
I would too. Just have him, and have him just call in maybe.
Well, I
they can-
did before they closed the disaster. We were advertising, hey, this is fixing to be closed, the filing period, whatever. And we were on the radio talking about it. We were in court here talking about it. We over, and so I actually even made a
pursued
personal
it.
phone call and I said, you might want to try again before they close the books, if you will. And he was like, hey.
Well, it won't hurt to try them
I
again.
can
Just see what they
see
say.
I went, I talked to them, they said no.
Yeah.
He's just not that type of guy. So
It's
he-
really
He didn't go then, he ain't going now.
No, those stories
But I'll tell
are
him.
very difficult to hear. We have, I wish that was just the way it is, but yeah, just like we have people that apply that aren't eligible or they don't live there and they get money that they shouldn't have.
Yes, we know that. I mean,
So we have to watch out for that.
a natural result of money available, you have that kind of thing.
Yeah, we have to watch out for that. So we have rules we have to follow and try. And most of the time we help everybody out and they're pretty happy. But yeah, it's not 100%. I can tell you
Well,
that.
and I get it, but I still think if we're going to
I'll tell him. If he
be
wants to do it,
representatives
it's on
of
him.
Logan County, and you've been kind enough to come and speak to us today,
Sure.
Appreciate that.
I'm thinking let's go back.
Sure. And if you need to reach out to me, the judge has my all my contact info, and he can reach me
That's your
anytime.
name and number.
Yeah, name and number on there for sure.
Mr. Anderson, we appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your time, everyone.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Thank you.
Moving along, Ginger Lawrence. ECC.
Good morning.
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 All I have today is I'm asking for permission to go ahead and sign the Power Phone contract to recertify all my people. Power Phone, the ones who don't know it, it is our books that talks, it's a website, and it talks us through CPR, any type of medical thing until an ambulance can get there. We also have it in fire and EMS. The reason that I'm asking your permission before I sign it is higher this year. The reason being is because we have more employees. So, but I just wanted to make sure, and I do have the money to do it. I just wanted to make sure it was okay to renew it.
Just out of curiosity, what's the cost?
It's $4,600. I mean, it's.
And this is for the phone.
It's for training for my employees to be able to talk people through CPR,
my goodness.
medical.
Is that in-person training or is that
It's all online.
online?
Well, the basic.
So when they get a call, they get on that web.
It's like we have it pulled automatically in our computer, and you can pull it right up, and it can
So
talk
you
you
can
through
just
it.
walk
Read
through
it
it
as long as
behind
you
you.
follow it and read it word for word. They're going to stand behind you in court. Now, the emergency medical part of it is already certified. They're certified that in the academy. So the only ones we do online is fire and EM and law enforcement, and then we just have to do a recert every year. So.
Well, I think that's,
They're following proper procedures.
Well, in that way, because I mean,
County too, liability.
it does, and as long as you follow it. So if you ever call and they're telling you something really strange, and you're thinking, gosh, it's because they're reading it word for word. So, but
no, that's great. I think that's a good thing to do.
that's all I got. I'll go ahead and sign it then.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We don't need us to, this is change of it.
She's got the money.
Let's go ahead and
So
make a
moved.
motion. There we go. Just in case, we've already got it covered.
Covered.
If no discussion, roll call.
Yeah.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yeah.
Wilcox,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Next up is archives. Do you have any, where's she? Oh, there she is. Yeah, you are hiding back there.
Okay, so the first big thing is our high density stuff is now in place. I feel like we're at the point that we've just moved into a new location. We're down to the last few boxes and wondering where in the world do we put it? So that's where we are. We're shooting for open house somewhere around the start of the Tobacco Festival. That will give us time to figure out where to put those last pieces. In reference to what Stacy was talking about, the books that are currently being preserved are the Walker Line survey books. That is the land that is between the current state line between Kentucky and Tennessee, the Walker line, and where the boundary should have been, which was established in the 1600s between Virginia and North Carolina, Kentucky and Tennessee being child states of those two states. Those are very important to our history as the state in this region, because Kentucky should have owned that land. Short story is, through an agreement, Tennessee allowed Kentucky to keep the money, blah, blah, blah. So the people that lived in that area for 2-3 decades really didn't know where they would end up. So those are very important. We're one of the few counties, to my understanding, that may actually still have those books. So the gentleman, Trace Kirkwood, who helped get that grant, when he found out that we still had our books, was super excited to learn that we still had those books. And then when he saw them, he said, can I have your permission? I'm like, you've got mine, but talk to Stacy. And she said yes. So there we have it. Those books are super, super important to the state's history.
That's where the $40,000 grant's going.
Partially, yes. There are, do you remember 5 or 6 of those books? And then there were 3 or 4 additional other books that are being preserved as well. There you go. So there's one of our marriage books, 3 of our order books. So there's 7 of those Walker Line survey books and 4 additional books.
Oh, that's so cool. Good job.
Awesome.
Yep. Another thing is, if you submitted a veteran, either yourself or a family member, for the commemorative book project for the Wall That Heals that the Archives has been working on, please contact the Archives. That is what's holding up the release of that book. So if you submitted somebody, please, if you have not approved your veterans page, contact the Archives. Let's get those approved. Let's get this thing out into everybody's hands that's patiently waiting for it. Any questions? Absolutely.
The new shelving looks wonderful, by the way. It's really nice. And
can't wait for everybody to see it.
Thank you.
Smile. Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
all right, moving along. Nathan, come on up.
May I humbly request that, I know Eric's busy, I've got a War and Peace novel for you.
Oh, absolutely.
War and
We'll save your sermon for last. Eric with Animal Control or Animal Shelter, please come up.
Eric's great.
Good morning.
Hey, Eric.
All right, we'll just go run over our numbers. I think, did it get to you guys this time? I'm way behind, but all right, we'll just run them over real quick, run over the numbers. July, we ended with 74 dogs, a net gain of 11 dogs for the month. Our yearly totals, we've brought in 198 dogs since March 1st, and 188 dogs have left with 144 adoptions.
Wow.
So in the month of July, we've had 47 ACO pickups, 10 owner surrenders, 2 stray drop-offs. We had 35 adoptions, 1 foster, 6 owner pickups, and 6 dogs. Unfortunately, for the month, we euthanized. It was a really rough day, but it has to happen, and that's unfortunately, we had some dogs that were very aggressive to the point where they killed another dog. So anyways, save rate is still at 95%. So we're still over our 90% threshold. The hoarding case, we have adopted out 19 dogs of the 26 dogs that have been brought in, and we still have 4 that are not adoptable. They're still pretty rough, still want to bite your fingers off, but we're still working with them, trying to get them.
And they were in this house.
They were in that house. Yeah, so I don't know how they handled in the house, but when we were taking them out, they weren't very friendly. But we're still working with them. They coming along. I mean, you just got to be very easy with them. We're trying to do everything we can to make sure that we get them adopted instead of having to, you know, put them down for aggression, especially being little Chihuahua type puppies. They're, you know, they're not big pit bulls that do major damage if you try to touch them. But that's kind of where we're at with the hoarding case. To date, we have 65 animals. We are a part of NBC Universal's Clear the Shelter program. It just started. That program runs through September 8th. They are asking we run half-price adoptions, but since we still are in our code black with being that, we still have half-price adoptions for dogs 4 months to 5 years, and then free dogs 6 and older until we get to 50 dogs. What I'm asking is if we do get below the 50 dogs, if we continue the 50% off until September 8th, until that date. I'm guessing we have to vote on that to make sure that we can do that until September 8th. If
that would be a fee change, so yes.
Yeah, so the fee change will stay half price until September 8th, whether we get below our threshold or not. So I just want to make sure that we got that approved through you guys first, if that's acceptable.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
The house for the 26 dogs.
Yes.
Are any of those spayed or neutered at this point?
The ones that are still there?
Yeah.
I don't have that answer.
Well,
I
mean,
would assume not.
You assume not, so you're going to be called in another year or so to get 25, 30 more. Yeah.
Right. I mean, unfortunately, I don't know if the residents are going to be around that long. But,
yeah, I know.
But yes, that's kind of the boat we're looking at. Like I said, I want to try to get back out there. Unfortunately, with everything that's happening, getting out there is not the easiest thing. You know, maybe I get with Travis and maybe we can set up a date that we can go back out and just kind of revisit.
Well, one of my suggestions had been, and of course I'm not out there trying to get them, but if they could just very discreetly leave 2 males instead of a male and a female.
Right.
No females, because eventually nature will take its course there.
Right.
But if you could just leave 2 males, because I think you left.
We did not have that. We didn't know if we left males or females.
Yeah.
I know that we took out there was only like 5 males total out of the 20-some dogs. And then we just had 2 of them fixed that were pregnant. So, yeah, it's a rough situation with that. You know, and it's hard. The toughest thing is the human factor on it with the mental illness that is in the house. You know, trying to let her know the best things are to let these dogs, but, you know, she feels that those are her support.
Those are her loves. And let's face it, that's what she looks at.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, did we need to do that about the half price, or should I keep going?
Yeah, we probably just need to make a motion to amend the fee schedule until September 8th if we're not below the threshold.
So move. Second.
No further discussion, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcat,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Just for clarification, the euthanizations, was you have 6?
We had 6.
Okay. That was only due to either severe health or aggression, not population?
100%.
Okay.
100%. That's obviously the way we are.
Yeah, just for...
Yeah, just to clarify, yeah, 100%. Going on our summer event, Cool Dogs and Hot Rods, we had a good turnout. Now we're looking to our next event, which is going to be a trunk or treat, which should be we're looking at Saturday, October 6th, and it's going to be 2 to 4. I got again in touch with Clay. Clay is going to help us out. He'll probably bring his truck bed out again and have music and stuff out. So hopefully we're gonna push that to be a pretty fun event.
And anybody wants to donate candy for the trunk or treat, you
Yeah.
can drop it off at the shelter.
Yes, 100%, that would be amazing.
Preferably Reese's Cups.
Exactly.
Somebody likes it.
Yeah, right.
Funny.
Did you say Sunday?
Saturday, October 26th, right? Is that a Sun? It's Saturday, October 26th.
26, I miswrote that. Okay,
Yep.
26.
2 to 4. Are very pleased with our partnership with Nashville Road Animal Hospital and Dr. Ellie and her team. They have been truly a great partner working with us. They've been coming out every other week, getting us caught up on stuff that we need to have that we haven't had when we were in between partnerships. So they've been great, and they're helping us improve how we handle issues that arise at the location instead of having to bring them over to the hospital every time. We will be rolling out our doggy day dates and our sleepover parties by the end of the month. We have a new foster list or new foster deal that everybody has to sign to take those out. Basically, it's going to be the doggy dates. You can come in the morning, from 8 o'clock, and then take the dog for the day, and just have the dog back by 3 p.m. And it's a big thing for people who can't have dogs or own dogs because of either their apartments or they, where they live, they're not allowed. But this gives them an opportunity to still able to have a dog. We've been basing it off of, we've been looking at other places that are doing it and kind of replicating that and putting it into our own. The other one is our sleepover parties. Basically that you come in the afternoon, you get the dog, you take them overnight, and then you can bring them back the next morning. Once again, that's another one where if you're not allowed to have dogs for a long term, but you want to take the dog, for the night or whatever, just so you have somebody to hang out with. Then we are going to look, if this works out, is doing like weekends where if somebody can't have dogs, but they're going up to the cabin for a weekend or something and want to have a dog with them. That's going to be a little bit more in depth, but that's kind of what we're looking at. But the other two will be rolled out soon. The last thing, Shelter Manager, is our program that we use. It comes up at the end of the month. It was $380 to renew. Pet Point, which is an American-based program, the Humane Society was using it, and when we came in, you couldn't have two programs at the same location. So the previous director, then they signed up with the Shelter Manager. Pet Point is a lot more user-friendly. We actually had a meeting with them this morning, but we had some issues arise with employees, so we had to reschedule the meeting. But I think we're going to try to switch over to Pet Point. It's it'll be easier for all of us to do. I don't know if there needs to be anything with that. It's $380, or if we just go ahead and switch over if we need to. Switch it over? Okay. The facility maintenance. I saw last time we were talking about the AC company coming out to do a maintenance check. Did we have a?
We're still waiting on bid.
Still waiting on the bid? Okay.
By the way the advertising falls and such, it'll be next court meeting before we.
Okay. The roof, we're still waiting.
Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to make that. And you gotta call me or I'll forget.
All right. I just don't want to
You
keep
got my cell phone,
bugging.
you
Yes, I
call
don't want to
me.
keep bugging you, so I didn't want to.
I literally walk out that door and I forget.
Right. All right.
Sorry about that.
That's right. Now that I know I can bug you and you're all right with it, I'll bug you.
Bug me anytime.
All right. I just want to get it taken care of before it becomes a huge issue and we got rotted wood and we got to replace the roof, and I don't want to do that. On that, we're having a gentleman come out. He has community service hours. So he's going to come work for us. We're actually going to have him repaint the deck, the wood deck. That's getting old and it needs to be, before that gets too far gone, we're going to get that fixed up. He's going to do it. He's a painter by trade, so he has all the equipment. We're just buying the paint, and he's going to take care of that hopefully next weekend. We are in the process of putting kennels into the runs to keep dogs separated if needed, so we don't have any issues that we ran into this past month. So, and the last kennel in the back just needs a metal roof installed, but we have all the materials. So we're really getting towards the end of all of our kennels being set up and the maintenance side of it, and then just maintaining. So we're excited to have all that pretty much done. I do want to give huge props to Pee Wee and the road crew. Those guys, anytime we've needed anything, they've been out there yesterday. I just mentioned to one of the guys in passing, hey, we still have we had a couple of tree limbs down. They came out the next day, and he took care of it and cleaned it all up. So that's anytime we need anything, they're all over it. It's awesome. Same with Tim at recycling. They're letting us use I think they call it a tow motor around here, the forklift. Letting us use the forklift with our pallets of dog food when we need to get it out of the trailer. Besides that, employees, like I said, we just had a little issue today, but Ashley, I want to make sure I mention her. She's doing an absolute amazing job. She's stepping up with Dr. Ellie. She's my point person for all the medicines that we do. She's learning everything from her, and then now going to be saving us a ton of money. The big thing we're starting in was an issue before is heartworm testing. So now we're getting all the kits on site, and they're not cheap, but they're a lot cheaper than if we have to go either retroactive. We send a dog out with heartworms. It's $1,500 per dog just to get it fixed. This way we can be very proactive and not have to worry about the after effect. We're going to take care of it beforehand. But other than that, that's kind of where we're at. Do we have any questions?
No, thank you.
I mean, I think, you got to run like a well-oiled machine, man, and I think it's going great. I think that, our problems in the past are slowly becoming just a success, from your leadership, and I appreciate that. I will say, though, the only thing that I think maybe looking into the future that, I think, we had a separation between the two entities, okay? I think we found our way, and I think they maybe worked on finding their way, and I just wonder if sometimes, and the capacity of our shelter and the flow and what we can handle, what we can't handle. I'm hoping that someday in the future, sooner than later, that when ACO goes out, picks up an animal, that there is, we have a list or know all of the nonprofits, such as Logan County Humane Society, Best Friends, whoever else, I don't know of any of those, only two I know of, that we can, they reach out to you and say, do you have room? And he's like, man, that there is some sort of relationship there that we can say, do y'all have room? Could you take on this animal? And there may already be discussions that may already be happening. I just, and it may not be time to do it right now, but I hope in the near future we can do that to help with some of the overpopulation.
Yeah, I mean, we're working on a ton of things kind of behind the scenes of work, on our end of how we can improve things, and then on how we can improve our partnerships. It's just tough. I mean, I know that the Humane Society right now, they have a waiting list of like 30-some cats or something. So there's definitely a need, and we're working on, a partnership that we can really hone in on.
Yeah, I'm not saying we need to be doing that right now, but I mean, looking forward, I feel like that would be beneficial.
Yeah, 100%. We're looking on being county run. We're in the very infancy stages of what we're looking at, but if you look at the Metro Animal Care and Control in Nashville, they have a Friends of Metro Animal Care and Control nonprofit that's 100% nonprofit for that facility. Like I said, we're in the infancy stages, and I'm trying to look at all these other places. September 25th, there's the Kentucky Animal Care and Control Convention. I'll be going to, and that's a big thing I'm trying to understand and learn, and how legally and how everything can work out, that we can partner with a nonprofit 100%, so that we can offset costs, we can offset, instead of relying on somebody or asking for help, they're there, where we have to go beg somebody, hey, can you help us with this animal? They come in and that's what they're there for. So, like I said, those are in the infancy stages, but we are definitely looking at those.
Appreciate it. Appreciate all y'all's work. Fantastic.
Got it. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's move on to road supervisor Pee Wee.
Tell you what, look at that shirt. Now, you're not gonna get lost in the crowd there.
No, you're gonna lose me anyway. All right, I better behave. Back on business. We're getting us a new employee, Mr. Robert. He's doing some running equipment and been doing a really good job.
How close are you to any kind of employee?
Robert, he feels he's the last one we can get.
And I will say this about Robert, when we were talking about Josh's rehabilitation workforce. Robert was a gentleman that was
in that
position. He's one that we've taken a chance on to see. He's doing a wonderful job so far.
That's exactly what we needed to hear, Josh.
He has his CDLs, and
he's an intelligent young man. He's doing a fine job. He's a pretty decent equipment operator. Everything I've asked him to do, he's went and done. So.
That's great. Oh, that's so good. And you've got a little bit closer to what you need out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad. Good. All good.
Friday, Pee Wee and I are going to try to go to Frankfurt to look at some equipment that is state surplus, and I will be reporting back to you guys on that.
Is there a particular need when he says you're looking at surplus? Is there a particular piece of equipment you're kind of hoping for?
Mow trim.
The mow trim.
Adding a third mow trim
It'll really
to
help.
the system. Yeah, we've got one that's given a little bit of issues.
The two that you got, what you gonna recommend?
Keep them.
I'm talking about, you got two different brands.
Oh.
Which one are you gonna recommend?
Really ain't much difference. I can tell all of them are doing a good job. Just got to keep them running and keep somebody in them.
On the, are you talking about on the mowers or the mow trim?
Mow trim. What is it, Alamos?
No, it's a Tiger. The John Deere's are Tigers. And of course, the other one, it's its own brand.
Camera from the Lost in Space episode back in the 80s. Come on, man.
Android, none of that Apple junk you got.
I swear, that's all in Lost in Space.
We went from dark throwing over our phone type.
Yeah.
Green text messages.
Being a tech man, he's far behind on the phone.
I'll make a motion for the personnel action
I'd want to
request
change the subject.
for Robert C. Schrader, effective date 7/31/24. In the Ruby and stipend schedule LC-RD-1S1 with 5 years credit experience.
I'll second that. Yay.
Great. I have a motion and a second.
Yeah, it is.
If no,
Miss Ann.
I have a motion and a second. If no further discussion, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin. Yes. Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Thank you, Pee-wee.
Thank you, sir. EMS, do you have anything for us?
I do not, sir.
All right, thank you. Okay, that leaves only one, I think, one left, and that would be
War and peace,
Nathan.
he said.
Nathan, come on up.
Good morning. Take a deep breath.
Give us a cliff notes.
There, we will sure try. We'll dig in. So in your, on your tablets, at the July litter pickups, 44 miles, 387 bags, and 15 tires. Appreciate the jail crew working out there. I've been going back at it again, and so far so good. So I also had on your tablets the recycling report for this month. There are 22 cardboard bales. For much of the time, it's been a little less on the inmates, but I know J.R. Toomey is working on that to get some more inmates out there. So, yeah, so we always appreciate the help, and they're doing the best they can out there. I did mention something else too. I was listening to Eric. I'm gonna have to talk to him about it to coordinate. We talked about a household hazardous waste and e-scrap event. That is, I believe he said October 26th was the schedule for his next event too. And that's also the same day we have our event scheduled. So I'm gonna have to get with him to make sure that those are coordinated. But I did want to put that out there. That is the date that we were able to work out with the companies, is October 26th, that's Saturday. Okay, this is the bigger item I wanted to talk about, is the garbage collection contract. And just talk a little bit about, since the last court 3 weeks ago, I spoke with Sam, the manager from Scott Waste. He definitely wanted to speak to you all about the situation, but couldn't be here today at another engagement. But obviously, he'd like to talk with the court about keeping the current contract that you all have. But I just want to put that out there. He is planning to talk with you soon, just to kind of go over what he wants to go over. And just as a reminder, though, with this, we do have until the end of next month to inform Scott Waste of our intentions, whether or not to keep the contract or move forward with requesting bids. And so I believe that was what I understood. That was where you all were leaning. Nothing was done officially on that, but
Welcome Sam to come and talk.
Yes.
But, you know,
We're gonna explore other options.
yeah. I mean, I'm assuming they're gonna, you know, say, well, if you put it out to bid, the prices are gonna be, you know, I think that's probably going to be an approach from.
that is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but, you know, I think, you know, they could put in a bid just like everybody else, and it still
Absolutely.
might be the best bid.
Absolutely. We definitely hope they do.
But, yeah, it's
Okay.
still my thoughts. I still want to put it out for bid
I mean,
personally.
did we agree as a court body to do that?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we.
Not officially, I believe that would that need to be a vote to put out a
Oh, I'm
letter to
sorry.
them?
I thought we had to.
Talk about cities, just.
I did, and that's my
Yeah,
next
that's-
thing.
There we
so-
go. Okay.
So I can talk to you about that. Every city, I talked to all the cities in the county, and most of them, they're mayors, and they all want to participate in this committee that we're trying to get together. Every one of them did. Russellville and Auburn have somebody ready to go, and Darrellville and Lewisburg needed their council meetings, which happened to be this week, as I understand it, the second week of the month. They're having their council meetings, and they should have an answer to me, hopefully by this week, couple days from now, as to who they want to serve on that committee. And I'm hoping, if we're looking to put out for bids, I'm hoping to meet fairly soon and get this committee going, because we're
Did
trying to
they
get done for the
all
holidays.
express a willingness to go through the rebid process?
Yes,
Okay.
they did.
Then I think if you all want to go ahead and make that vote today based upon that, we can.
Well, throw a reform committee, definitely. I think.
Yeah, everybody was ready to rebid. It seemed like, some had differing opinions on the current situation than others, but I think everybody was in agreement that rebidding would be good.
Before we do that, do we have three that would like to serve on that committee?
And based on that, I did want to put out there, I would humbly recommend that Thomas could be one of those, because of his prior, when this was done before, he was actually on the court, and that experience could be good. But however y'all felt about that, but that would be a humble recommendation I would have.
I'd be happy to do it, and it is a passion of mine, especially the recycling arm of that, so.
Y'all need me to babysit Thomas, so I can do it.
Does it need three?
Well, I mean.
Or are you the third one?
Unless one
Look at
of you
him
are passionate enough about it where you don't need me on there, I will gladly serve on that committee. Uh,
Yeah, I think the judge needs to be on it, because he's gonna be the daily.
I figured you'd corner me
Oh,
into that one,
so-
so yeah.
Was there any possibility, because I get asked this question all the time, I brought it up numerous times, that they won't have to have a garbage day pickup removed in order to recycle?
That is definitely going to be in the committee discussions.
Because I'll
is trying
vote for
to,
somebody that does that.
for trying to come up with a,
They
that's one of the
hate losing
options.
their
I
garbage
think
day.
the recycling is something that the committee would look at as what different options in today's market do we have available to us compared to what we decided, I mean, years ago, 12.
So anybody can offer that, it's just gonna be more expensive.
And it's gonna be, how much more expensive, how many hires would you have to have for a extra driver, extra truck, whatever. But if it was a different day, why couldn't you use the same? I'm a little confused on the truck thing. But the bottom line is, I just wanted to put that out there because that's what
Yes,
District
I hear it
5
too.
hates.
I hear it
Having
too.
a garbage day taken away so they can recycle.
But just exploring all the options will
Okay,
be
that's fine.
the
That's
idea.
all I
So we formed the committee, Tyler Thomas and the judge, and now we need to make a motion to put out the rebid.
Mr. Joseph.
To formally terminate our current contract at the end of its term, and go through the rebidding process, with the cities, being part of that.
Yes.
We need a motion on the committee.
Yes.
Yeah,
The
Well-
motion would actually be on the formal action to break the contract.
I got it.
I just figured you could write it all over.
So basically, yeah, as Joe said, we need a motion to terminate the contract and form the committee. A motion by Jamie, second by Ms. Ann. Is there any further discussion? Roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes?
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
And I will, when the last two cities have it together, we'll be getting with the committee members and, of course, keeping everybody updated on the court as to how it goes. And I guess we'll need a formal letter, is that right, Joe, I guess, to draft
Just
up?
get with me on that in the next couple of weeks. I'll be out next week, but we got September to get it out.
The current contract needs to be distributed to all those committee members.
The current contract,
Read it,
absolutely,
understand.
absolutely.
Right.
I will definitely do that.
You know, it'd be, I don't know if we put our hands on it, it'd be nice if we had, the last time we did it, it had three options on it. Surely we can find that somewhere. That would be a good piece of information to have for the committee.
I'm looking at someone behind you probably for some help, so. Yeah. We'll work on it, we sure will.
Yeah.
See what we can come up with.
Hey, it's public record, we got it somewhere.
Are you done?
No, I'm actually not done, so I've got more to go, so if there was anything else on this, but, I did want to bring up about because I'd spoken with Judge Baker about code enforcement, and it came up. I know Chris sent an email this time, and I responded to it, and I know county attorney responded to it too. And I understand there's possibly some discussion going on between Judge Baker and the county attorney Ross on maybe some code enforcement rules, maybe an ordinance. I'm not sure what's being looked at, but what I included on y'all's tablets was the old ordinance from 1990. It's unenforceable. And when I look at it, I don't see a way to enforce this, but it could be an example for the fiscal court as to what to do or not to do in a situation like this. And it doesn't address several issues. It's too vague and too broad, and at the same time too narrow, if that's possible, but it is. It doesn't really address a lot of the issues specifically as to what would be the standards for those issues that come up. And the way it's worded, basically, without getting into too many details, pretty much anybody that would have a complaint, they would need to come to the fiscal court to be dealt with, and that doesn't seem to work. So I just wanted to present that to you for consideration. I know it might come up today, so I wanted to just put my 2.5 cents in.
Would you recommend a change that would make it more enforceable?
There we go. We'll getting right to that here. So,
sorry, got ahead of myself.
I think it would, Nathan at this point just sends letters and, begging people, please, your neighbors, you're affecting your neighbors.
They couldn't care less.
we do take some things to court. Joe will take,
We
we
do,
can
but
take some
it's
things to
very,
court.
very limited, and, I think Nathan having more of a way to, get someone to do what they need to do with their property would help a lot of situations.
And I think basically what my suggestion would be, whether it's just me and Nathan do it or somebody assists us as a part of a committee, you all just decide whether this is something you want to move forward with. The two big things I think that we would be looking to address, I know you don't want to be overly broad, but the grass mowing issues, and those are some that quite frankly, I was talking to Tyler, you know, it's difficult for how we set those out to where you're actually catching the ones you want and not having it overbroad. And then additionally, the clutter and blight issues like Chris was describing, of, you know, people who basically don't have a junkyard, but it kind of looks like they do, and how we address those. If you all are serious in moving forward with that, I would say I do think it would be good and necessary. I would also say, obviously, I would want you to think about what those standards are, but maybe if I would probably volunteer Tyler, just because he's had the most of these complaints, to work with me and Nathan, and then possibly Chris, just because you had that other issue, and maybe we could work on that in the coming weeks to see what that would look like. I would say in terms of our ordinance being from 1990, there have been massive changes on that, and some specifically in the last 5 to 10 years, so it would be a pretty big update, but just not putting in all that work if that is not something you all feel like you'd be willing to do at the end of the day.
Yeah, so just to tell you, if we do move forward with this, my goal is very, you know, I don't want to be like a super enforced thing, and I want to be very lenient, but in situations that I run into that are most annoying to me is that when someone calls me, it's populated areas, when someone calls me and says, my child cannot, we do not want her to play in the backyard because the next door neighbors has, their grass is, you know, grown up to their hips. So, and everything's grown up around the house, and it's just not taken care of. You know, one, either it's vacant, or two, because they just don't care about their neighbors. So those extreme situations is what I would like for Nathan to be able to take care of. Whether not just because somebody drives by somebody's house that's in the middle of a field and they think it looks bad. I don't want that kind of enforcement, but only when it affects a populated area and it affects your direct neighbors to the point to where, A, your real estate, it affects the real estate, it affects your you know, the people next to you, it affects their property value when they're trying to show a house or trying to sell their house, and B, it affects the well-being of the family, not being able to be on their property and do what they want to do on their property. You know, I mean, a lot of times you get, well, I don't be told to do it on my property. Well, the problem is that you're affecting everyone else around you to, you know, if you want to be able to do what you want and grow up to the height of your house, go move out in the country away from other people. That's my.
I totally agree.
That's my opinion. You know, I don't want just because somebody drives by and say that looks like crap. Well, call Nathan. Nathan, get up about it because it looks like crap. I don't want that. I'm just gonna tell you. It's not good.
It's a hard balance to strike. You know, you want to have take care of the landowner's rights with the rights of everybody else around them, but we can make an effort to do that. One thing I would just say is just making sure that on the front end, the standards are pretty clear, like what grass height are we talking about, you know, where are we talking about the front end, and then on the back end, which that ordinance does do some with, what consequences there are for when the things aren't followed.
That's where you'll see the change, right there. If the consequences
I would just say though, like Nathan's talking about with the grass height and everything like that, and what Tyler just said, I would encourage you, like between now and our next fiscal court meeting, just, you know, kind of drive and keep your eyes open on those things, because those are things that, you know, I look at whenever we're looking at, we've got example X, like we want to do something about this. And if I'm driving home and in the 2 miles that I'm on 100, I see, well, somebody could say that about this place, or somebody could say this about that place. Those are the things I want you to think about, not you.
Krista, you're.
I'm saying it's not your
I wanna
property.
be a good neighbor, so if I need to do something, let me
It's
know.
not your property, but there are a couple of things where I'm like,
You know, sometimes when grass is that high, that is my hay field.
Yeah.
Okay, so, you know, cut me a little slack.
We gotta have some distinction.
I do have to feed my cows.
Chris, the issues that you had in your email, weren't they in the right of way? Some of those?
It's a little different even than some others,
I
yeah.
was gonna say, and that should even be a different issue that is enforceable, should be enforceable.
I mean, it would be a part of code enforcement. I mean, it is our right of way, but they still have ownership rights in the property, and it's just a matter of we can
Okay.
move that stuff in the event we need it, but in the event we don't need it, there's not really a legal reason for us to go down there and clean
Okay.
it up. But if we're talking about, you know, clutter, excessive clutter, that's what he's kind of describing. That's where you,
Okay.
that code enforcement
Well-
officer does both of those things.
I'm glad we're gonna have a committee that's gonna work on that. I will totally support it. I think we do need teeth. So that Tyler is not just sending useless letters that get immediately
Well,
paper.
he can send them if he wants to, yeah.
Well, he sends useless green text messages. He wants
Just
to
sign it, he's gonna sign Nathan's name.
Paper airplanes. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, go on.
Thank you.
But I don't know if there was any action that needed to be taken today on that.
It sounds like there is a consensus, and we can get to work on that. And I would just say action kind of being homework to, you know, keep your eyes out, think those in mind, because you want to write those to where you're comfortable enforcing those standards. And also, he sent the city of Russellville's look at theirs. They would be obviously one that you see work here. And I will say, to alleviate some concerns, I don't think that they have a terribly high amount of cases there that actually go to the code enforcement hearing. So
That's what he told me.
if you set, you know, reasonable standards, hopefully it fixes itself.
Just what constitutes a junk trash property, because it doesn't just mean to be Nathan feels it is, you know, something that's, you know, as best of a standard as we can get.
We need to
Thank
No.
vote on committee. No? Okay, just.
Well, if you want to put a committee of you and Chris and me and Nathan.
That need a motion?
Yeah.
We didn't do the last committee.
Yeah. We voted the last committee.
Yeah, we voted on that. Yeah,
Let's
not
vote
the
to-
actual committee members, but to form a committee.
Oh.
We'll go ahead and do it just to make sure that we have ourselves
Work
covered.
together on it, if I had to be a committee, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't think this is something that needs an official
Okay.
committee, because you guys are just actually working together
Yeah, I mean, I'll
to
just-
suggest
Of course, you
it.
can meet with-
So,
Who is going to take the lead on this, Judge, do you think, on actually getting these together, or do I need to? Or-
I would say me and you can.
Okay.
We've already done a great job.
Yeah, you've already.
You win.
No, I guess so.
You've got-
Two committees, yeah.
You've got the example, and I can
Right.
help with the KRS, and then they're gonna think about what our levels are.
I definitely think we're gonna take someone else's and we're going to,
adjust.
I mean, we're going to,
Lots of
we're
wheels
gonna
out
make it
there.
a lot more lenient, I think, than what some strict would be. In my opinion.
I don't see too many things come before us that we can't
Yeah.
pull
Right.
5 or 10 samples and
Totally agree.
work it to our situation.
All right.
Judge,
Okay.
we'll
Thank
take
you.
5.
I'll get with the committee,
Well, I
we'll
was
talk
gonna
about it.
suggest,
A vote of extreme appreciation. I was talking to Eddie Hanks, and let me tell you, if you guys have not been to Russellville's Apex
working on it.
trash depot place, it's unbelievable. There's no garbage all the way to 6880. They even mowed it, they mowed it from 6880 all the way down to the railroad. They cleaned it
It's
up.
looking better.
They'll put new tile under the entrance, so it's no longer, oh my gosh, unbelievable. And they planted the trees.
They did.
Across
They
from
did.
the fence.
let's
Thank you.
take a quick break here. We'll return at 11
Anyway, I was
o'clock.
gonna tell you, thank you.
Absolutely.
back. Welcome back, everyone. Let's move on. We're going to start with judges' announcements and then roll on through. August 14th is the lead IDA meetings, starting at 7 a.m. In the Chamber of Commerce meeting room downtown. Anyone, all who live and do business in Logan County are welcome to attend. The lead meeting will be followed by the IDA. August 16th, Southern Kentucky Static Softball, Fish Fry, and Cruise In. The Southern Kentucky Static Softball, Fish Fry, and Cruise In will be at Auburn Park between 5 and 8 p.m. with a 50-50 raffle will be held. Advanced adult tickets are $12. Kids tickets are $10. The day of the event, adults are $15, kids are $12. August the 24th is Hope Fest 2024. This will be at the McCutcheon Coke Park in Auburn. Singing groups will include Christian Life Assembly of God, the Bilberries, the Joins Chapel Youth Group. There will be games and snow cones. Logan County Clerk's Saturday office hours will be also August the 24th at 9:30 to noon. If you see on your paper CPVA, you will have to do that before close of business on Friday. The Farm to Fork annual dinner will be held at the Poors Nursery at 5486 Morgantown Road in Russellville. There will be entertainment by Laney Rice, a live auction to follow at 6 p.m. This year's events will benefit the Logan County High School band. Tickets are on sale. Contact Poors Nursery at 270-542-4828. And the last thing, if you receive in the mail the American Community Survey, that is a legitimate survey from the U.S. Census Bureau, please fill it out. This helps with the federal funding for the counties and cities.
Oh,
So if you receive that,
I did.
the American Community Survey, please fill that out. Rolling on, we have, we don't have any reports. Citizens participation. I think we have possibly 2 of the 100,000s in attendance. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Court.
Morning.
Morning, Judge.
Hi, Ernie.
My name is Ernie Ezel. I live on Happy Hollow Road. Actually, it's Lane because it's a dead end out there on the edge of Happy Hollow. I'm changing my Plainview community to Happy Hollow now. Couple of things I just wanted to mention. I appreciate the work that you're doing. As a citizen, I'm also an elected official. Some of you know it, some of you don't. The ones that know it say, Ernie, what exactly do you do? I said, well, I was elected as a conservation district supervisor from North Logan. And I'm not going to go into that, but I know Jason here says, what do y'all do anyway? And I said, well, we do as much as we get paid for, which is nothing. That we actually do. And I'll be glad to talk with any of you anytime about the conservation districts and some of our goals and what we do. Judge Baker was talking to me about the next meeting. It's coming up. We meet on the 4th Wednesday morning, typically at 7 a.m. out at the conservation office or the NRCS office, either way, whatever you want to call it. And that's just background. Wasn't going to say anything about it except the judge pinned me down and said, hey, when is your meeting? What I wanted to mention this morning, almost afternoon, y'all are talking so much, but the parks have been an issue, and I just wanted to bring up something that the Conservation District has done. About 20-some years ago, they spent part of their money to purchase property on the old Sportsman Club Lane, and that is Baker Natural Area now. Heard it mentioned the other day that that didn't cost the county anything. Well, it did cost the county something. Part of our tax money that we bring in, y'all are going to review our millage tax document later in the meeting. I don't know if I can stay that long. But we purchased approximately 65 acres, and it's a natural area. It has walking trails and exposes people. It's not overrun, but it has a constant traffic flow. Occasionally, I think that little corner where you pull in and park has been used as a drug delivery spot. If Stephen was still here, we could ask about that. But here's what my purpose was for wanting to speak this morning. A good friend of mine, Junior Miles, have been active on a committee to upgrade Baker Natural Area. And we're looking at things, we're looking at changing the entry, giving it a sort of a dress-up approach. And that may involve some money. We do a lot of sweat equity, and we do have some money, but it's not in our budget. But if there was some money coming in from outside, I know we always are careful with our money, but if somebody else is going to give us some from outside, we'll take Warren County's money or whatever they're contributing to the state. But if there are funds for park development or things of that sort, we would be interested in being considered, because what we're looking at is sort of redoing the entry area, paving the gravel, removing the mounds possibly that obstruct the view of the law enforcement agencies when they come by and check on things. And it can run into several dollars. Paving could be $30,000 to $50,000. We know what that is. But I'm not asking you for the money right now, but I'm just saying if the situation prevails and there are some outside funding or park money, the conservation districts would be willing to accept some assistance in upgrading that and make it a more appealing public location. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever gone out and walked the trails. Mm-hmm. Some of you have, and I have, but of course I live close to Happy Hollow. I can walk trails all day, not on all of them. But that's all I have. I appreciate it. Again, I appreciate your, I'm not supposed to take questions. I get nervous.
I'm just going to make a statement. I have used it quite a bit over the years and was quite thankful for it during COVID. So whatever you all do to keep it up, I do appreciate it. I'm not always as worried about the entrance. The only real thing that I would see that's ever, just an issue is sometimes branches fall if people aren't out there. But it's a good running facility. So thank you for keeping it up.
Well, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of the fact that the Conservation District, before I came on the board, saw fit to do that. And it is a good place, but it does need a little work on the front and some display signage throughout. And so just all I'm asking, if there's something that comes across your table, piece of paper says, hey, we got $500,000, how can we divide it up? Or if you got $500, keep us in mind. And again, if you would like to attend one of our meetings, I know Phil has mentioned that he may try to come out at our next meeting, but let me know and we'll give you a welcome party. That means you get a cup of coffee.
Okay. You said it's the fourth Wednesday?
Who's the owner of the property?
The owner is the Logan County Conservation Districts. They were one of the, no, I think they were the first district in the state that actually purchased property to reinforce this notion of, hey, this city people, using a little slang there, need a place to where they can see what the natural environment is.
The reason I was asking is I know Brad constantly advertises applications for land and water grants, and I was just curious if that was something that your entity is eligible for, or if it's something court is eligible to ask and utilize, but I didn't know since we don't own it.
That'll be.
Well, see, the conservation districts also oversee all of the dams.
Right. But I was just saying, I
in
knew
the county,
I
the
knew
little,
this Land and Water grant program was something that Brad
Mhm.
constantly advertises after this to apply for. I just was curious
Oh.
if we could apply on their behalf or didn't know about the ownership thing, you know.
I think
so.
they can.
I have a meeting with Emily at Brad tomorrow. It's something I can run across and
but
just.
see, what I was
see.
thinking in terms of funding source, and I'm talking too much, I've got other business to do, but I was thinking some of the grants for rebuilding and, you know, those types of things, and federal money's coming in to rejuvenate the economy and things like that. We are in need. I mean, we can work out a way, and we have done sweat equity on those trails, and we've got a crew that is willing to get out there and cut the limbs off the fences and open the trails, and we're doing a little cleanup around the little structure building to make it more open and friendly, safe looking. But again, I'm not begging, but I'm reminding you that I would be accepting. Again,
Well, that was good.
Yeah, we'll keep that in our
Yeah.
all right,
consideration.
well, I appreciate
when
it.
we know that.
And again, we have offered to be involved on a park for the city and the county if that does work out to reality. I don't know what we can do, but our interest is in making other things related to our environment and Logan County's environment, primarily agricultural, but natural resources and hunting, that's part of our venue. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Y'all have a
Thank
good
you,
day.
sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ezel.
I think we have one other that's wanting to speak. Miss Leanne Martin, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are y'all today?
Doing well.
I know
Welcome.
that we've got our tax rates down on the bottom, but just for the sake of time, I just wanted to kind of come up here during this time and kind of give you an update on our outdoor arena. We are within weeks of having that open. If y'all have a chance to come by and see it, hopefully if you've seen most of it from the bypass, the bleachers are a little taller than we expected, so you can see it for miles. So, but we are seeding grasses this week, topping a lot of things off, making it look nice and fresh and pretty for everybody. But just kind of give you an update of where we stand there and what's going on. We've got a lot of different things. Once again, we're hosting FEMA this week. That's been fun. But but other than that, I mean, if we just kind of give you an update of where we stand, I won't be able to stay for the tax rates, but if you've got any questions on that, I'd be happy to answer those. Just kind of give you an update of where we stand with the arena, and hopefully in the next week or so, we'll have a ribbon cutting scheduled for that, so you can come out. Or if you in the area, just stop by. We'd feel free to give you a tour. We're really excited. We've got a few last minute touches. We're waiting on a few windows, but other than that, we'll be ready to open and get ready to host events out there very soon.
That'd be great. What,
Thank you so
when was the indoor facility built? What year?
Indoor, 09. No, let's see, the office building is 09. The arena was 12.
Okay.
Yeah,
12.
12 into 13.
Okay.
Do you have other expansion plans?
What, how much space would we give to that?
Not at this moment. I mean, we're looking, right now we're in the design phase of a project. Right now, all of the facilities that we have are open to public, which kind of hinders our ability to do a lot of our programs when we need to do those. Also, we have a beautiful kitchen in the meeting room, but it's not a very good educational kitchen. There's not a very much area or movement around that we can do demonstrations in, have multiple groups. We've got a growing cooking club that's, I got 30 plus kids, and we're gonna have to put that on pause until we have a different facility built. Just because we've got a lot of interest, but only working over one cook stove, it's hard to do. So
Right.
especially when you've got kids from 9 to 13, 14-year-olds, and then now we've got a bunch of younger ones coming up that are very interested. I just don't have the facilities to do that. So our project room right now is in the design stage. That will also hold an additional 4 offices, because right now we went from an office of 6, now we're a permanent office of 7, but this last year we've had 2 co-op students there this summer, 2 interns, so we went from 6 to 11 very fast, and we don't have the space to do that. So if we continue, our programs continue to grow, our space is already limited on what we can hold. So the new project room will hold 4 more offices along with a new restrooms and then a demonstration kitchen that will hopefully, in the design phase, we're looking at it to be also a safe space because right now, even with the facilities we have, we do not have a designated tornado shelter. So that will be designed that way as well with the intentions because we've got a lot of kids out there, we've got a lot of adults, so if something is to happen, we'll have a space that everybody can come to. So we're looking at everything for through technology and infrastructures and different commercial type or home type kitchens that will be set up very similar to like a high school home ec office or a room. So run different groups along with different sewing stations, and who knows, we might have a meat demonstration or a meat cutting school. Who knows? We've got a lot of ideas and trying to make it in one space. But that's definitely in the design phase right now.
That sounds wonderful.
We're working on it. We're hopefully by October we'll have some different pictures of what that's really going to look like, and then move forward with that. And about the same time that the outdoor arena will be complete and off the ground running, right now tentatively the first activity or event opening for the outdoor arena would be the community revival. So if we can start off that way, I think we'll be all right. But yeah, anytime you're out there, if you'd like to tour, feel free to let us know. And then once again, hopefully we'll be ready for opening and ribbon cutting in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
I sure hope so.
Me too. Me too. I didn't know that we were in there ordering signs and toilet paper, and I was like, all the little bitty stuff you wait to the very last minute to get. And I was like, all right, I can see the finish line. I can see the finish line.
And the reason it's taken so long is the rain days that this facility has had. It's been probably well over 40, if not close to 50.
47 rain days so far has put us that far behind.
So
just rain delays, and most of those rain delays happening right as we were doing dirt work, and a lot of the whole facility itself, over 60% of it was dirt work.
Yes.
Just moving it from one space to another, getting it the right consistency and the right stuff, and then once again our bleachers. We're really happy to have the bleachers set. They came all the way from Texas, and they are all chair backs, so that's nice. Nice facility to be open for everything and all different audiences. So it's supposed to hold about 1,800 people, this first section. So
yeah,
that's going to be great. I mean,
It's
things
gonna be-
are already well out in the indoor facility. I can imagine y'all going to have some really good events.
yeah, right now the indoor facility is labeled for 1,600, and then with the outdoor, just the bleachers alone are 18, and then we can also bring in our portable bleacher system that'll hold another 100 to 200. So. And that's with the portable systems that we have now. So if we upgrade those portable systems, then we're looking at another 300 to 400. So,
great.
Depending where we stand, where we lay. But it is very nice. If you'd like to come out, just let us know. We'd love to have you. Love to host you. So, and if y'all have got any questions on the tax rates, just quick thing. Everything.
Looks like compensating.
It is compensating, and it's actually numerical value is lower than last year.
I saw that.
So we're doing the best we can to be as efficient with the funds that we do have and community support for the rest. So,
Good for you.
but yeah, if there's anything else.
You don't usually get the lower than last year.
Exactly. Yeah, I wanted to make sure that everybody. I've been the ag agent here for 10 years. This year would be 10 years. So of all 10 years, we have lowered the numerical value of that tax rate. So we were very pleased in that. So.
Thank you from Logan County.
Yeah, we're trying our best. We represent a lot of the farmers, and the farmers are the ones paying it. So we try our best to make sure that's as low as we can for everybody. But we also want to make sure that we're bringing the services for everybody. So we can still do that within those means with the continued support of our community. So, and with your court as well. So y'all made significant funds for us as we're moving through different projects. And these projects go out for the community. So we really appreciate that, and we try to be good stewards of everybody's funds, whether it's ours or yours or the county's in general. So it's all the same. So.
Well, thank you.
All right. Well, y'all have a wonderful day, and if you're out and about, come by and see us.
Thank you, Leanne.
See ya.
All right, I don't think we have any old business, so let's move on to new business. It's opening bids for the new sheriff's deputies cruisers. I have two bids presented in front. One is from Don Franklin. We'll start with that one. Don Franklin of Somerset. I'm looking. They are the Durango Pursuit all-wheel drive. That's what we're talking about, right? $42,808.
Hear what they were last time?
Oh, gosh. It was a little less than that.
Not a
know
ton, or-
Not a ton, it wasn't a big money. Is it 30? I was thinking close to, I was thinking more like 40, it was like 40,600 maybe? Don Franklin. Cause is it a 2024, he does, or?
Does that have a delivery fee tied to that one?
No, we generally go get them.
Okay. Our next one is up from Montrose Auto Group. It's a 23 Dodge Charger all-wheel drive V6 police unit.
Never heard of them.
Is it Georgia? Look at the name. Look at the address of the company.
No, it's Ohio. Montrose. This is a Charger. You only put out for one bid, didn't you?
Well, we don't put model, it's just a police package.
We did.
But we did put V8 only on the bid, but.
Well, this is a V6 Charger
Tyler,
all-wheel
it's
drive.
42,308 last year.
Is this a V8 here?
So it's, I learned all of this.
I
Yeah,
thought it was a little more than that. but
Yeah, that's kind of surprising, this
Yeah,
economy.
I was, for some reason I thought he told me about 1,500.
This one is for the Charger, it's 38,000 with extra delivery, what you said you was going to
Well, not a new one.
V6.
I say we let you guys look at the bids, give them to the sheriff, let him look at them and come back with a recommendation
You said you
at the end of,
requested V8, didn't you?
or unless
Yeah,
you're
in
just
the bid
willing.
it said
Well, that's the
V8,
only one with a V8 though.
I don't have to sit down. Basically, I have a vehicle to replace on the insurance from the drunk driver hit Deputy Grayson. So I'd like to move forward with that bid of that Durango to replace that one.
That's what
Understand.
you were trying to do.
Are we getting one or two of them?
Just one based on that insurance reimbursement claim.
Okay.
What I'd like to talk to court about, the second part is, with the additions of the new hires that I have, I would like to move forward and buy Missouri Highway Patrol cars. They're 2021s, I believe, with 60,000 miles. They're about $24,000. So I can get more vehicles by going that route to supplement the influx of new hires. They're very good cars. They generally are a good 3-year cars. So I could kind of spread my money a little bit more by getting these Chargers, which are V6s, and get those in the road going in the next 6 months, and then that still be a huge benefit to the fleet.
I don't
and
think
to
that's
the
anything out of
members.
ordinary that we've done before. We've done that.
Yes.
Well, we bought those and put them on the road, but if the
Yeah.
SRO's gonna use them, they're just.
Well, they're gonna be road cars, and then what what the road cars those will replace road cars I will use as SRO cars. Because they're still in good shape. They're 130 to 200,000 mile cars. So I want to get those off the road, utilize them in the SRO roles. But I can buy more cars that way. I can only basically replace Ashley's and then maybe 2 more if I stayed with brand new cars. To where I'm going to replace Ashley's with insurance money and potentially get 3 or 4 cars that I can put on the road in the next 6
Is it from
months.
Oklahoma?
Missouri Highway
Missouri.
Patrol.
That's 'cause
So
that's
how
a long
many
way
of the
back.
Missouris do you want to buy?
I'd have to sit down and really just crunch the numbers, but it's going to be 3 to 4. I was looking at 4.
And you've got $140,000.
150 something,
150.
yeah. So within my budget, I can make that work without exceeding my
And
budget.
you've used these before? and you've-
Yes, they're very good cars. They're very well maintained, and when we go get them, they've had all the fluids changed, brand new tires, and they will last me a couple of good years to basically, because we've had such new hires added on, I can replace more cars.
Yeah.
I can get more money for more cars for my money this way, and then next year, that's a different ballgame, you know.
Jason, make that motion.
I put it for a motion to accept Don Franklin's bid for $42,808 for 2023 Durango Super 60.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. If no further discussion,
She'll need that.
Yeah, I won't look at it.
if no further discussion, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin. Yes. Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
So what I'll do with Missouri Cars is I'll work with them, get on their schedule when they have availability, and I may just buy one, come back with quotes, bring the next court meeting, and we'll kind of work that way on buying those. So
That sounds great.
that work?
Does that come with, what does it come with package-wise?
Well, it comes with the spotlight. I mean, you're buying the spotlight, but
I mean, they don't come with console.
no, it's a
But the Missouri
it's
cars-
harnessed wired to fit, but it doesn't come.
The
And-
Missouri cars that come with cages and console.
No, they don't. They have some, but the problem is their lights are red and blue.
Yeah, but I'm saying cages and consoles they'll come with.
They do a whole package, so like, it doesn't come with anything. But with some of that, sometimes we can use
What you got.
what we got to replace.
Put it in
So I can take a decent looking console out of something else and put in these cars and save, maybe $1,000 here and there.
No, that's not bad.
So I try to use every piece and part I can find.
Thank you.
To not spend it, but what they do is they change dynamics of the vehicles, so you can't always reuse parts, equipment. So, but if we can make it fit, we'll make it fit. All right, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item number 2, assess the county's treasure bond for fiscal year 24-25.
Essentially, well, this is, we did this, I don't know, a few months ago. My bond is set at $250,000. They're, wanting the court to assess basically, is that enough bond? There are very few days during a fiscal year that I hold more than $250,000 at one time. They're so sporadic that I'm not sure, we'd have to, like, it would cost quite a bit to change my bond to cover, like, when we get tax money, sometimes that can be $900,000 one time in October and November. This month I got a road check for county road aid funds. It was $1 million on one day. It went straight to the bank. So essentially, the auditors are just asking you all to assess my bond, see if you think that is enough to cover the money I would have in hand and make a motion.
And you think it is?
I would say the number of days in the fiscal year that I have more than $250,000 to deposit at a time is less than 10.
Okay.
They've
And they're
asked us to do
checks.
this
I
every-
mean, they're checks.
Yeah, it's not
It ain't
cash.
cash.
It's
We're
not
running
cash.
a
It's
vending
just
business.
check.
You know, I mean,
hey,
it's gonna be
was-
pretty difficult to steal a check made out to Logan County Fiscal Court. I'm sure a good criminal could. Amanda's just not one of them, okay? She's a poor criminal.
Married to the sheriff. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
She's
We've
got
assessed-
somebody looking.
He don't have to take her to jail.
What action, we've assessed it, we feel like it's fine. What action?
If it's the pleasure of the court, then to leave it at 250, then I
Yes.
say we leave it.
To leave it at $250,000.
A second.
I have a motion and a second. If no further discussion, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin. Yes. Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Next up, item number 3, approve to surplus and delete a 2019 Ford Escape SE, VIN number ending in 25698 from the ECC inventory.
So, second.
No discussion? Roll call.
He got in there.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin. Yes.
Better be
Wilcott,
quick on the next one, Joe.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Item number 4, approve to surplus and delete a 2022 Dodge Durango Pursuit, VIN number ending in 200374 from the Logan County Sheriff's Department inventory.
So moved.
Beat you both.
No further discussion. Roll call.
That's the wreck one probably, isn't it?
Yes.
It is
Davenport,
the 26 a week. Good
Yes.
job, Tyler.
Goodwin. Yes. Wilcott, Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Number 5, approve the contract with Scott and Murphy, Inc. for the Thompson School Bridge Widening Project. We accepted bid on this, and we're just now getting the contract from it.
So moved. Oops, second.
I have a motion and a second. No further discussion. Roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin. Yes. Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
I think Pee Wee said they're gonna start on that either end of this month or. next
Hopefully towards the end of the middle of, end of this month and middle of next month. Hopefully, we can get that.
month. Yeah.
I think so. But we have others to
We'll be
discuss
happy
after
for a little
that.
while.
Number 6, acknowledge the receipt of Logan County Health Taxing District tax rate of fiscal year 24-25.
Motion to acknowledge the health department's tax.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. No further discussion. Roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin. Yes. Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Number 7, acknowledge the receipt of Logan County Soil Conservation's tax rate for 24-25.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. No further discussion. Roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin. Yes. Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Number 8, discuss the ad valorem tax rate for 24-25. Excuse me.
Judge, when do we have to establish this?
Glad you asked
September
that.
The 9th.
On the bottom of that, the very bottom of that page, the property tax rate for,
September 9th, what it
Has
says.
to be there September 9th.
Wrong
If you
one.
take an increase of 4%, you've got to advertise it
yes,
45 days prior to that, so you'd back up 45 days from September the 9th.
so with that being,
We would have to do, a hearing, it's a 721 day rule, it has to be in two consecutive papers. So
Okay,
it would
I'm
have to
sorry.
be advertised in the 22nd and 29th of August.
Of August, okay.
And then
Yes.
we would have to have a hearing on September the 6th.
yeah, the bottom on my sheet's wrong, so thank you for clarifying those dates. If you'll notice, if you'll look up at the very top
What is it every year?
of that screen, the 24 compensating rate,
Since
it's 12.3 cents per hundred, and the 4% is 12.7. Last year, the compensating rate was 12.9, and the 4% was 13.4. We accepted the 12.9, which was the compensating rate. The 4% is actually less than what we accepted as compensating rate last year.
And so what's happened is the past 4 or 5 years, the assessments went up so much, and we took compensating. We've lowered that tax rate over and over again. We're getting a little more revenue, but we're lowering that
Right.
amount.
We're getting the same
Even
revenue.
by, so,
Are we getting the same revenue though, right?
Well, we're
No.
getting just a little bit
Compensating.
more.
We're getting a little bit
It's just
more.
pennies.
pennies, yeah.
It's
Okay.
just supposed to level out, but it always makes
I
it
got
just pennies more.
People, I'm just telling you, court members especially, you're, when you're talking about property tax and you get a complaint, it's always that the bill went up. If your bill went up, it did not, in the last 17 years, it was not due to Logan County Fiscal Court tax rate. It's
No.
gone down. Only 2 reasons why it would have gone up is if your property got reassessed. So if you were assessed at 100,000 and the PVA went through and reassessed your property, which they're required to do by law, and it went to 125, you may have paid more because of that.
But it's not.
Even if you take a 4% increase this year, it is cheaper than what you paid last year. Okay?
Absolutely.
What you gotta be careful on that, you know, it took me a long time to figure out as well. You can never take more than 4%. So you can see the 4% increase, if we take it, is less.
It's less than what
we're that you paid last year.
Absolutely.
Okay? And the other thing that I would just tell you, when you are dealing with constituents that will come, and they're usually large landowners, okay? I'll just leave it at that. They pay $1.29 per acre. Your ag,
Per 100.
no, per acre. You know, ag land is assessed at $1,000 per acre. Okay, do the math. It's $1.29. All right, if we take a 4% increase, they're gonna pay $1.27. So I know people get stuck on, well, you took a 4% increase, I'm gonna pay 4% more and I'm mad at you. That is not correct.
It's not
You need to have that, this is a beautiful document, whoever sent it to you or whoever put it together.
Well-
That's a hip pocket document, you need to have it folded up in your
I was
hip
gonna say, I
pocket.
think I've got.
Actually, and that's the reason I printed the last year's out. I printed it for myself, and you'd like to see
Are you
it.
responsible for this being here?
I can't take,
Amanda put it
Amanda-
together for us. Thank you, Amanda.
Because that is a constant question.
I get just
And-
drilled on that over and over. If we take a 4% increase, you know how much revenue it generates for us? And we have $200 million in new assessed property, $105,000.
yes,
$105,000.
exactly.
That's a question that I'd asked Olivia to sort of show me some history on the tax rates. And it seemed like for a number of consecutive years, the rate was flat. I mean, it was 13 every year. And then only 2 years ago, it actually went below 13, but for all those years, it just stayed 13 even.
Because your assessments.
The only thing I could
It seemed odd
answer
that it
would be,
you wouldn't see it a
your
little
assessments
variable.
didn't change very much.
Correct.
You know, we've had, you know, I would have assumed when you saw a deep dive where it went from 13, because I can remember when it was 13.4, 5, and 6, you know, and every year, you know, it's 13.5 and 13.3, then 13.1, and you're right, we were at that low 13 for a long time.
If I remember right, it literally was 13 even for 5 years in a row. And it just seems odd that you wouldn't get into that.
So that the court decided to leave it as it was the previous year.
Yeah, we left the rate alone. We didn't take the compensating. We
Right.
didn't take the increase. People, it does say you have 2 options. You actually have 3.
That's
You
correct.
can leave it alone. And if we left it alone, we would generate a little more than 100,000. It'd probably be $150,000 in revenue.
But if we leave it alone, it's more than a 4% increase.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
And so we can't technically do that.
a different.
So the hearing comes in when you take
For-
Even though this rate is going lower, you're saying we still, if we go 12.7, we still have to have a hearing?
Yes.
Even though it's less than the current
Yes.
12.9?
Yes.
I-
Because of the values, it's actually taking the 4% increase. Even though it is less than last year, we still have to have that hearing.
That's the part that the judge is explaining right now that I can still to this day cannot wrap my mind around, because I would like to leave the rate as is.
I agree.
It generates a little more money, you know, and technically, the way I read it, I wouldn't have thought you had to do anything. You don't have to advertise it, you don't have to do anything, you leave it alone. Is that not correct, Amanda?
Not in this situation.
No.
The email that I got from Jared Taylor with the LG set forth, if you take a 4% increase based upon the assessment that they sent us, then we had to do the hearing.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I see what you're.
No. No, it's in the assessed value.
For last year, but it is considered their 4% increase.
Or either which way you want to look at it, you know, you can honestly tell your constituents, it doesn't matter if you leave it alone or if you take the 4% increase, they're paying either the same or less.
And it's hard to explain.
And at a 4% increase,
Very hard,
they're paying less.
because all they're hearing is the word increase.
But
They're
just-
not hearing, you know, not looking at the hardcore numbers. And if you have this paper and it shows you as the hardcore numbers,
Lord, I've been doing it 18 years and I still can't get it all wrapped
it up
around
there?
my mind, you know.
But I'm listening, I'm listening.
But the other comforting thing, because, you know, a lot of times when we're talking about
never mind,
occupation
don't worry about it.
and we're talking about property tax, it's usually people who own a lot of land that are kind of against it, and I get it, but you got to remind them you're paying at today's rate or last year's rate, you paid $1.29 an acre. You know, we're not bankrupting anybody at $1.29
Unfortunately,
an
we can't
acre.
charge you $1.29 an acre this year.
Yeah, that's right.
We
All
don't
we
have
can
the
do,
option. We have to
$1.27.
charge $1.27.
I was gonna say, from what I'm seeing, it's gonna be less than that.
I would still like to know if we can keep the existing rate.
I don't think we can. I don't think we can.
Can we keep the existing rate?
No, we can't keep this existing rate because it's more than
So you see what I'm
4%.
saying? But where that gets to you is when we did that last year, you know, now 4% increase because our basis went up. We can't even get to the rate we are right now with taking a 4% increase. Hey, if another $400,000, $400 million hits our basis, you'll be going down in your rate
It's going to go down again,
and
absolutely.
you'll go down again and again and again, so.
It's
Counterintuitive, but.
So with that being said, I would happily suggest we take the 4% increase because that's gonna lower.
We're still going backwards.
We're still going
It's gonna
backwards,
lower the
still
actual
lowering the actual rate. Okay, I have a motion and I have a second to advertise for the 4%.
And that's a
Yes.
little hard to explain, because you're gonna
Yeah.
get hammered.
Oh, I know it.
On which one?
But you explained it.
School board, the same way.
Yes,
Yeah,
That is at
Ah.
4%.
yes. They have to have a hearing for a 4%.
Get into the same scenario that your assessments go up, that the,
Yes.
and they even, if they take the 4%, it could be less than last year.
But they're not
Yes.
in the boat we're in, and I don't, this is not a critical statement, it's a statement of fact. They don't take the compensating rate, they take the 4% increase.
About
So
every
their-
time.
Their number keeps inching
it-
up, you know, so even if they have a, like in this situation, $200 million worth of basis, you know, it doesn't drop them down as far.
And once you don't take that 4%, you can never get it back. Does that make any sense? Once you lose it, it's gone.
Gone forever.
It's gone. It's gone forever.
They never took the compensation.
Whenever
Yeah, they
always
have.
They take 4%.
The school?
Either leave it the same.
Yes, they have. Trust me. I voted on that multiple times.
They
so.
did what now?
Compensating rate of the school systems, yes, yeah.
How does their number just get so high? They just start out high?
Yeah. But their number is actually lower than just about anything around here also, same as ours.
But it's considerably higher than us, that's, I mean, the big majority
Yeah,
of
that-
your tax bill is good.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
35.35 something, if I remember, 32. I can't remember, but
One other thing, I'm sorry, and it sort of jumps back onto the motions we've already made, but, the soil conservation rate, I think, there was a comment at the bottom. I just wondered how that applies to us.
Which comment are you reading?
Well, and maybe it's the next motion here, but anyway, it says, like the extension board approved to take the optional taxes of aircraft, watercraft, and in transit. Is that something, is that only an option to those other taxing districts, or we?
all I know is they have to opt into that
Yes.
every year. Like, hey, we are or
We
are
don't have
not
to.
going to apply that to aircrafts and watercrafts.
But we don't have to.
We do. It's on that sheet. We have to acknowledge the rate. It's on the next page. See where it says aircraft?
Right, but I'm saying they opt into applying for that.
We don't.
We don't.
We're setting that rate for those, yes. And then they either opt in, that we're gonna
They
apply
choose whether or
that.
not they're applying it to all those things. We blanketly apply to all this stuff. I saw that comment, I just wanted to make sure that I understood. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
And I don't think we have the option to apply it or not. We are setting that rate. The state requires us to set that rate because you are gonna tax those things.
Yes. That's just an option.
It
That's
gives
all.
water
Correct.
districts
Correct.
and extension offices and health departments, you can apply it or not apply it.
Absolutely. All right, I have a motion on the floor and I have a second. Is there any further discussion on this?
Do we need to are we doing these separate, or are we gonna do the aircrafts and all that stuff, all inclusive in that 4%?
Do we have to do it separate?
That is my recommendation, but we have in years past done them all separate.
I think personally, the way I see it, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, right now, since we're doing a 4% increase, we would need to have a motion to have the hearing, right? And then at the hearing is when you would approve all the different rates.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Is that what you said, Jason? That's what I said. Yeah.
All right.
If we weren't doing the 4% increase, we could approve the rate.
We could approve the
today,
rate right now. We could
and
approve
we'd
the
be
compensating
done.
rate or
But
lower.
because
than
we're
that.
taking an increase, which is a tax decrease, mind you.
Absolutely.
So, one last question. We could leave the rate alone if it was in between the compensating and 4%.
Yes.
As long as, we could leave the rate alone, as long as it didn't equate into a 4% increase, which it does, because we had $200 million of new assessment.
Because I was just thinking on some of these other ones, if we could.
He was thinking, could you leave it alone?
No, we can't leave it because it exceeds that 4%. We can't go over 4% on it. Correct. Okay. All hearts and minds clear?
Yes, sir.
Roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin, Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes. All right. Item number 9, acknowledge.
Someone's total tax bill, you understand, this is not 4% on their total tax bill.
No, it's not an increase. Yeah.
It's a decrease on everybody.
It's a
Everybody.
decrease to
Everybody owns
taxpayers.
personal property.
It's
We'll
an
get a decrease.
It is a decrease to taxpayers.
Yeah. We're increasing the
And it's-
decrease.
Will they believe it though? If you
Oh,
say it.
probably not. but-
Yeah, that's the thing, but that's what that sheet is to show,
I
I
put
would
it in my
suggest.
bill.
All right, number 9, acknowledge the extension taxing district's rate for 24-25. They took the compensating rate all the way across.
She said that's lower than last year.
Yes. Have a motion?
Second.
And I have a second. No further discussion, roll call?
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin, Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes. Item number 10, approve the school resource officer contract with Logan County Schools for fiscal year 24-25. Their contract is on there, and This is contract. Well, I went to their school board meeting, we talked about the money from the state that the state is going to be giving them. They do not know at this point how much it is or when it's even coming. But they have assured me that once that money does come and we know the numbers, we will come back and renegotiate this contract.
So basically, it's unchanged.
It's unchanged from last year of 60-40 split. And once, as I said, the state deems how much money they are going to give for each SRO, we will renegotiate with the Logan County school system.
No change. I make a motion to approve the school resource officer contract with Logan County Schools for the current fiscal year.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
You know, I just think it is worth noting in our minutes that that is going to be relooked at
Absolutely.
when the
Absolutely.
state sends those funds, because
Absolutely. And they have
we
it,
should get those funds.
they have it at their board meeting also. They know, I spoke directly to them and let them know exactly the way that I felt about it, as we had discussed here in court. And they agreed to renegotiate as that money and those funds become available.
Okay.
So does the sheriff not need to be involved in this agreement? I mean, like, you would think, like, he would need to be on here as far as signer and.
Well, SRO is,
You know, because I mean,
Well, I think this contract more of a agreement.
money would be-
It's an agreement between
two,
the county.
Fiscal court and the Board of
Right.
Education.
Correct.
We actually have a MO that I signed with the school, so it's just broken down separately.
Absolutely. If no further discussion, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin. Yes. Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Okay, that takes care of our new business. We have nothing for executive.
11, we added something, didn't
No,
He
it was
handed
the
it out.
we? Oh.
10, was
Okay.
it?
I thought we.
It's at the very top.
Gotcha, gotcha.
It's at the very top under the amendment.
Gotcha.
All right, now we are ready for post-agenda. Jason, do you have anything for us? Well,
I
I'll,
thought first.
I think, Joe.
absolutely. Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely. Please do.
No, but I can add it. I didn't know if we were gonna talk about it or not.
Essentially, a lot of offices are utilizing intern positions. We haven't done that over the years a lot because it takes so much time frequently to get somebody up to speed that by the time they're good and trained, their time for the internship has moved on. We got an opportunity where we could have somebody hopefully for this year, school year, and so essentially what we're looking to do is create an internship position within the county attorney's office, similar to what Judge Baker has, run that through the fiscal court with the understanding that we would reimburse you all from other funds for any compensation that they receive. Just basically looking to set that at about $10 an hour, so not going to get rich off of it except in experience, but right now we have we're a little short-staffed, so it would help out a lot too. So basically just asking to have that first reading, and then Tyler's going to help me out and get the sheet, with the salary sheet to include between now and second reading.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. No further discussion. Roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin. Yes. Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford, Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Does anybody else have anything at the table? If not, I'll hit a couple items I've got here. First off, let's start with the HVAC contracts for the animal shelter, the coroner's office, archives, and the clerk's office. Sorry, I was trying to go through. It was brought to my attention after our discussion with Eric that we were supposed to receive bids today, and we received 0. So I'm going to ask the court to rebid for opportunity to rebid those contracts.
And PSK didn't submit a bid?
They did not.
They asked me about it.
They asked me about it too. So I'm going to ask for opportunity to rebid and honestly try to make it, I guess, better known. I don't know. I don't know why no one bid that contract, but.
So moved.
Second.
No further discussion? Roll call?
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcox,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Okay, the next thing and the last, maybe the last, that I have is you have some paperwork sitting in front of you over a bridge. We got our bridge inspections back earlier this year, and it's just really come to light after going and looking at this bridge. This is the old 6880 loop. This was a state bridge going over R.J. Corman's railroad tracks in Auburn. This bridge was the original 6880. Since they've moved out, and this is just a county road basically. What I'm asking for, I've gave you all the reports. This bridge is in bad shape, and I am asking for recommendations to close that bridge to traffic. I've went and looked at it, and I'll be honest, I don't like it. There is not it's less than if you'll notice on your highlights, it's a less than just barely over a half a mile detour to go around this bridge. This bridge, to do the total replacement, which is suggested by the state, is going to cost us well over $1 million, well over, to replace this.
You're talking about that old one we talked about?
Yes, ma'am.
So you can just shut it down, put some pylons up, and maybe just make it as a walking bridge?
That's exactly it. Now, while I was there, I stopped, looked, took several pictures. Well, I didn't take any pictures this day, but walked it, looked around. The whole time I was there, parked in the middle of the road, I had one person walk over the bridge. So that was my recommendation, close it only to vehicle traffic. I don't know if I need recommendations from you guys from that. I'm not really sure if I need that. I've never had to approach by this, but I say it's enough of a concern by reading the paperwork and reading that I'm ready to close the bridge to foot traffic only until we can get a better assessment about this.
What's the name of the road?
Old 6880 loop.
It backs.
Is it close to Spring Lake?
No, this is actually on the other side of Auburn. Yeah, Quarry Road comes too, but like I said, it's less than a half mile. There is a house on one side, on what I would call the west side, that can easily, basically they'll be just gaining a private drive is basically what it's almost going to be like. But and the other side, there are some apartments, but they're actually closer to accessing either the bypass, or there is the continuation of this road that goes past the sawmill that ties back into Main Street.
Right.
We essentially, they'll be closing the county road for approximately the feet that are on the bridge.
Yes.
So we probably need to go through that hearing to
Yes.
remove that.
And that's why I brought it to your attention. We need to figure out what we need to do. I'm not sure. I've never been approached by this, but this bridge is, I have the reports. And
Obviously.
We'll have to request the road hearing to remove.
Yes.
146 feet.
Yes.
146 feet of that road.
And I don't want to do this, but
It
I feel
goes-
we need to at least close it to reevaluate.
If
I know
you-
it's still our property, you know.
What?
Like if we take it off of the county road system, whose property does it become?
It's probably a good chance it is our property.
Okay.
It might actually become
not
prop,
on their road system.
it may actually become property of RJ Corman, but
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, whatever we need to do, whatever's safest. I mean, if it's not safe to travel, we need to.
Well, then I guess what I'm doing is requesting a hearing for that to be advertised. Yes. And I would invite anybody that wants to go out and look at it with me to please come out and look at it, and I'll
did that
gladly get his
before
reports.
with the bridge down at, Dareville and the Shaco, not Shaco,
That is,
Enterprise
Logan Mill?
Drive, you go past
Logan,
Drive.
Logan Mill. It's Logan Mill, yes.
That still is a county bridge.
That still is a county
They just
bridge.
took They didn't want the updated bridge, they asked us to get the
Basically, yes, and that bridge,
older style bridge.
that bridge was the posted weight, it's in here, I've got the report on it, I can send you guys this. That bridge on Logan Mill, the posted weight limit was lowered, and, when they lowered that, it fell into some expectations, and that may be something we'll have to explore, but at this point, I'm asking for a hearing to do this.
Mayor, I ask if you wouldn't mind to specifically, I guess, share that info with Mike Hughes.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I was talking to him yesterday, I told him that I knew something was up about the bridge, but I didn't know anything about the
Right.
report.
I thought you'd already talked to Mike Hughes.
We had discussed it just in passing, but we haven't had formal discussion, but I needed court's approval before I go actually have any of this discussion. I wanted court's approval. How about that?
Yeah.
Is that better? Can I do I have a motion for a hearing?
Second.
All right. Any other discussion on this? If not, roll call?
Davenport? Goodwin? Yes. Wilcutt?
Yes.
Harper?
Yes.
Crawford?
Yes.
Bolden?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes. Anything else for post-agenda? May I entertain a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Were we not gonna discuss the Liberty Church Bridge?
You and I have some
Okay.
stuff we need to
I was
talk
gonna
about
say that
first.
one As a one, too.
Yeah, I need to talk, I was gonna catch you before we leave. If not, I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? I didn't hear the second. Chris is quiet today. I haven't heard a word he said today.